Yes, indeed. You're now tuned in to Knock 'em Out the Box, episode 125.
125 en SAP.
My name is Vinny Paz. I'm here with my co-host, with the co-most, the Mr. Majestic Left, Right, Left Kid, Mr. Brendan Long. What's the word?
Chilling.
We're also here with Billy Bindlesticks, who just, are we going to discuss that this is take two, Mr. Long here?
No sell.
No.
Now we can't no sell.
Brody.
Our producer extraordinaire,
Right.
and
trying to improve the podcast
for you guys, for the knockers.
Right.
You know what he did? He almost fucking had no podcast.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, almost makes me walk off the show, not once.
He did make you walk off once.
I did. I walked off the show. I almost quit.
Mm-hmm.
Just letting all the Knocker Nation know.
You need therapy. That's not my fault.
I need therapy?
Yes.
I've been in and out of therapy my whole life.
I agree. He needs therapy. I'm agreeing with both. I like this. I like stoking the fire.
Yeah, I know.
Stoking the coals.
You're just an instigator over there. Therapy. That's what you're doing.
You do need therapy.
All right. Huh?
You do need therapy.
Your patience is very thin.
Agreed.
Excuse me?
Flies off at the handle.
Yep.
This whole, Pennsylvania versus New York thing, the two of you, once you guys...
I'm not in Pennsylvania.
He's not.
You're not in Pennsylvania right now?
I am not.
He's in this Jersey, his armpit of the East Coast.
That's true. That's where I am.
Well, you know what? I don't care.
Do we
talking about your native lands?
Do we check one of the boxes in the good category because he nipped it in the bud after 1 minute and didn't like what was going down?
He did.
He said,
produced.
You know what? I'm done with this.
Made an executive decision.
He did.
That's
to be respected.
Yeah, and I'm very proud of him. And he's a hard and diligent worker. But sometimes he gets a little short with me and makes me walk off the show.
Mm-hmm.
And then also says that my assumptions are invalid. What do you think, Vin?
I think he's wrong.
I think so too. Hey, listen, I was perusing YouTube the other day, and Instagram and other various social media sites, and I saw a music video.
Mm-hmm.
And you were in the music video.
You called me out. You called me.
I did.
What was I doing?
And
rapping?
You were doing your little hippity hops, and
right.
I was very impressed. Did this Irish William also work on that video? Because
he did.
I'm very proud of him too.
You didn't catch my cameo? It's like half a second, and me in the background.
Yeah, that's why I said it.
It's supposed to be scrubbed from all his cameos.
What's the name of the song, Vin? And
it's called Head of David, out now. Go run that up. Mr. Irish William. Is it also up on streaming platforms yet, or are we holding up?
It's out everywhere. I mean, oh no, the single is actually the audio file. No, it's not on streaming till the album comes out. So it's only available via the music video on
So you can only see the video, folks. This is like MTV News.
Vinny,
you hear it first.
You hear it for we're Kurt Loder for your ass.
New album.
He is Tabitha Soren.
New album launches.
I love me some Tabitha Soren back in the day.
425. Vinny, what's the title of the new album?
425. God Sent Vengeance. The single, you could stream it on YouTube right now. The video is called Head of David. The second single, the first one, Battle Scars featuring Army of the Pharaohs. The record drops April 25th. Pre-order bundles, vinyl, CDs, merch, all of that, jmtstore.com. Go there now. You got a couple weeks with the pre-orders and the pre-order bundles and sales. There's sales on the vinyl. There's vinyl variants, which we very rarely do, if ever. We rarely
very cool.
Do. Yeah.
They look great.
I just got my hands on them a couple days ago. They look great. I'm not one to put myself over, so since it's not putting myself over, the vinyl itself looks great. The music on it, you could judge for yourself, but we opened it up. I brought Scott Stallone, my engineer, an advanced copy, and we opened it up there to check it out.
Oh, nice.
Great. So
Nice.
I'm really happy with how the
Shout out
vinyl
to
looks.
Scott.
Shout out Scott. Yeah. So God Sent Vengeance, April 25th. That's what's going on with me. The new single, Head of David, is up on YouTube. Go peep the video. Peep Instagram, peep the KEOTB Instagram. We've been uploading more videos, more on the stories, just more content. We're a bit more aware of that.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Vinny, you want to hear a nice little funny story about the Instagram? So this Brendan has access
okay.
and he makes posts on the Instagram.
Sure.
I created the Instagram,
Yes.
so it's like connected to my Facebook account.
Oh, is that why the picture with them was up on your
Yeah,
thing?
you're like you liked it.
I
Should've
was
left
like,
it up.
yo, I thought you did a sneak move on me, hung out with this Razor, this
No,
Diamante, and
had
this
nothing to
B
do with
without
me.
Pazzi.
Brendan's
From
posts were going to my Facebook where it's like me and my kids,
your
and then all of a
family.
sudden it's like people
Knock
think
him out
I'm
the
hanging
box.
out with a bunch of goons.
Guys, Billy's social media presence is absolutely family and wife oriented. He doesn't act like a goofball on there like me and B. So I see this Brendan and this
it posted the
Raynone
video and
misbehaving.
and the still.
There was some misbehavior
It
on the
was like a
part
whole
of
post.
Long, Raynone, Diamante.
Well, this Raynone and this Diamante teamed up to fool me, and there was a bit of a ruse.
It was.
They told me
They ran
we had a whole
interference.
thing going back and forth that certain people canceled on
Right.
a planned gathering because we're not always in the same area. We don't always get together.
Yeah, yeah.
So we were supposed to get together and we had it planned and then it was canceled.
Right.
So I went anyway because I'm a trooper. And then
you absolutely are, unlike
and,
me.
and then someone surprised me.
Someone pulled up.
It was
Came through the door. The fight
starts
now.
Yeah. It was a pleasant surprise, and I'll get to see him again on Saturday.
Irish Billy, did that pop you?
Yeah, but now it just my Facebook looked like I was just hanging out taking pictures of everyone else
of
and
others.
not myself and posting it.
Well, you
Having
know
a
what?
great
So,
time. Smile, guys.
I'll tell you what.
I'm here to film your good
time. We will get a lot of Billy FaceTime on that KEOTB just from my mistake and I it's an honest mistake. I did not realize it was linking to the.
No, I didn't either. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I
Fun
apologize.
stuff. We're
but,
all figuring this out. We're trying different platforms, messing up social media.
I can imagine you.
Look, guys,
your
not
family
only
going
learning as we go along, we're learning life as we go along.
Right. Wife falls asleep early and sticks bills in New York.
Right.
Like, what the fuck?
Right.
Don't complain you're tired on Sunday.
Yeah, you saw a bitch.
You summon a beach.
You summon a beach.
Billy Betts had a nice Saturday, by the way.
Ooh.
See, he hits me while I'm sleeping.
Uh-huh.
Asking about picks we already gave him. Did you guys pick Delgado or da? While I'm
hit me up too. I was driving.
I'm like, he better hit B. Why would you? You know what I mean? I'm out. Can I take umbrage? I want to ask you guys if I have the right to take umbrage with someone. This Bernardo Osuna, right? So the fights come on ESPN Plus early, okay?
Correct.
He early gives away the winner of the Joyce Hrgovic fight that I have stashed in the top.
So I didn't spoil it this time.
No. Neither of you did. But do you think that Bernardo should keep his trap shut, or is that
stuff moves too fast for him to do that? They have to beat Twitter and social media sites. News doesn't wait anymore.
Well, he certainly wasn't beating that. He certainly
right. So you gotta report on it as it happened.
Yeah,
I got a promo to cut.
Okay.
And you've cut this promo.
I have
in the past. So I'm here to cut this promo.
In life or about the specific thing?
This fucking ESPN app.
Oh, it's the pits.
Oh my God. So we're at and obviously you guys have heard us mention him ad nauseum on the show. We're at Tommy Raynone's house. He has we call him the party planner. He is the organizer and the central character in the cast of miscreants that we all hang out with. So
Mhm.
anyway, Tommy is kind enough to host a bunch of us. We usually we hang out there. Come summer, we hang out in my backyard, but we go to his place, and this poor guy, he's got 3 different things trying to get this ESPN app not to freeze. It was the most frustrating thing. We have it.
Well, to be fair, this Reno may or may not pay for it. If you
Oh
ask
no,
me.
he pays for it.
All right.
So
all right.
we had. Oh, that was the other thing too. To get it from device to device, because he
You
has
got
it
to
in the.
sign in and then sign out,
Ah,
right? Oh my Lord.
Jesus Christ! So we had it on my phone, his
Ugh.
TV. Everything was freezing.
I'm being honest with you. I'm getting hot just hearing it.
We
It's making
reboot.
me angry, and I wasn't there.
We reboot his router. We
Yeah.
check the signal strength on the Wi-Fi. Everything's fine. We switch back and forth from DAZN. DAZN's working fine. As soon as we put ESPN on, I'm talking every 15 seconds, this thing paused. So there was like,
Yeah.
it's actually kind of funny. Like it was like, action
That's
shots.
me in Europe, be trying to watch an illegal feed because they won't even let me pay.
Right.
Like, I'll go to the front desk and go, "Hey,
Right.
gladly give you the however many euro to da 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 da."
And they won't do it in the
I'm-
hotel, right?
Right. So then I'm using someone's computer on like a Russian feed, and
Yeah,
it's it looks like a big right hand's about to clip somebody and it stops. And you guys had people with you.
Oh, that was terrible. It was so bad. I was.
He was throwing back some.
Oh yeah, getting fired up.
Right.
Oh, we were getting fired up. Really, what we were doing was just shitting on Raynon and his house. I'm like, what's the matter? You didn't pay your fucking bill? Like what
Well, that's where my head goes. That this Raynon, had what are the fire sticks? What do they say? Oh, I have a jailbroken fire.
Yeah,
stick?
no,
Is that the
no. This
slang?
is legit. Like the app. It was working a little better on the phone. I think you've mentioned this in the past.
Mhm,
It works okay on your phone.
Yes.
Once you try to play it through the TV, it works terribly
Everything we talk about on the air here works better on the phone.
on the phone.
In my experience, I can't
Right.
speak for everyone else. Matisse Pacquiao completely 100% shit the bed on ESPN Plus app.
So
could
bad.
have been a pay-per-view. I can't remember. And I had to watch the whole shit on my phone, Dolo,
Bro,
in the dark.
it was so bad. I can't get over how bad it was.
The irony of it is it's the biggest sports company
Right.
on earth, I think.
And can't get it right.
Unless you bring in some,
No, it's the
maybe
biggest sports
Univision is bigger. I don't
it's
know.
the biggest sports company on earth.
Yeah. So for that one to be the one that's always giving me headaches,
What a piece of shit.
and B, you can tell why I always go around all these things and go to the hardwire and just pay for a pay-per-view on pay-per-view through the Xfinity or whatever other
Yeah.
people have, Verizon Fios, da 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 da. You go through these apps and this is what happens. So
Well-
it's, for me to not have it happen, when it's a pay-per-view, of course, I just go through the fucking cable company
Right.
where it's hardwired. You know what I mean? And I know nothing
Come
goofy can
July,
happen.
we're not gonna see nothing. on
Yeah,
ESPN
we're gonna
anyway.
see. Yeah, exactly.
We'll see where
We're
this.
gonna see where
I
they
gotta
end
say
up.
that. So, you and I talked about it the other week. Amazon looks fantastic, so I'm excited to see what PBC and Top Rank have to
Me too.
offer on Amazon because
Me too. Because this app has been
Aesthetically,
nothing but a headache
nothing but a problem.
for years now. All right, let's get into some news and notes as we always do at the top of the show. Caleb Plant and Jamal Charlo will fight on the same card on May 31st in Vegas ahead of a planned showdown later this year. Plant will face Jose Armando Resendiz, and Charlo will face Thomas Lamano, who we've referenced on the show before, known as Cornflake from Jersey. Both must win to meet in the fall. Cornflake was a very young kid, I believe still in his teens when I met him. He was fighting a lot in Jersey, always brung a lot of people out. Italian kid, ran off a win streak. I believe it was Antoine Douglas that was his first loss because they were both undefeated prospects.
Yeah.
Ran into him, lost, put some wins together. When B and I spoke of Erislandy Lara finding power late in his career, the knockout of Lamana was really the thing that started it. He flattened Lamana. Lamana's a good kid. He can fight a little bit. After that fight, B, when you brought up Lamana to me, recently, not related to this about Cornflake.
Yeah.
I think you guys were going to meet up with him or something, and which
Possibly.
made me say, "What's up with Cornflake?" I looked him up, and he's run off like a bunch of wins since
Yeah.
he got flattened by Lara. So when I say a lot, I think he's run off like 8 straight wins. Plant and Charlo should beat both of these guys. And here's the thing: you're doing warm-up fights to a fight that I don't care about. So that's weird to me.
A fight that's 3 years too late. Well, the reason why they're doing warm-up fights is likely because they cannot make any Charlo part of the sole headliner, right? So you have to have Plant against someone else to see if Charlo can even make this fight. Otherwise, they probably would have just made Plant Charlo.
Agreed.
Who knows if Charlo?
Well, with Charlo, I'm not going to put this on you. I have, as recently as a show or two ago, was like, these guys are retired, right? We're not even going to bring them up anymore. And then boom, the next week, the first news
So
is
this is a continuation of the slap controversy. Caleb Plant slapped the shit out of Charlo in public.
In public.
So I guess this is what they got for Plant. This news was sort of like right after we recorded last week. They broke the news for this. So I get what they're doing because you cannot trust the Charlos.
Agreed.
To
and
be
also,
part of a fucking show.
Look, I'm not a Caleb Plant fan. I respect 2 things. He's always a professional that makes weight, and he's with the shits. He doesn't do the like nerdy white boy. You can talk to me crazy.
He shows up dolo everywhere.
He was dolo when he smacked the shit out of him. When he's not dolo, he's with his girl. Like he's not one of these dudes that runs 20 deep.
No,
with the dudes from his hood. I forget where he's from, but he was dolo when he slapped the shit out of Charlo, and other times when he's talking heavy, he's dolo with his girl, which is essentially dolo.
Right.
But he's a professional. He can fight.
Yep.
He can't beat the elite, but he's good.
He's really good.
And Charlo, let me just throw this in there. What you saying? We don't know because there's such a question mark. They're wild cards. Also, on top of being a wild card, and what will he do? Will he come in 10 pounds overweight, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? I don't think he's fought in 2 years. So he does need a tune-up. I don't think Caleb Plant does.
He fought Jose Benavidez, right? Was that his last fight?
Was that Mel or Maul?
No, that was him.
That was Maul, the bigger one. The one that's fought at 68 naturally, not the one that moved up for Canelo.
Not the one that moved up for Canelo.
I think even that's been 2 years, bro.
Jesus.
That was in 2023.
Okay.
No, we're in April of 2025 now. I don't think he's fought.
Holy crap. That was November 25th, 2023.
So, all right. So a year.
So he's fighting. Yeah, he's fighting Cornflake May 31st.
Yes. And Caleb is fighting Jose Armando Resendez. I don't know him, so I'm not saying Resendez, right? Probably. But Jose Armando Resendez. I don't know him. I know Cornflake well. He's a good kid, too.
He's ranked, Resendez is ranked 110th.
What do they have Cornflake after ripping off some wins after getting sparked out by Lara? Is he top 50? Is he top?
Yeah, well, that's what, the algorithm on BoxRec has him top 50, but that don't,
No,
yeah,
the algorithm's very weird. Okay, so, I mean, these guys are both going to beat these guys unless there's a complete Charlo meltdown. They don't even make it to the ring. All these things are possible, by the way, guys. These are guys with mug shots with their hair banged up and their eyes are crooked.
James Brown shit, Nick Nolte shit.
Yes.
These
and they're guys are not all there, guys. Not all there.
So that's why you can't have them be a centerpiece of a card yet, because they have to we got to see what is going to happen.
It's a very good point you're making. A very good point that, I'll be honest, no one else is making. And they should. And they should. They shouldn't be scared to.
Why they just don't say that? Like, look, we're going to give him a shot because he's a wild card. We can't. If he falls off the card and he's the main event, they don't have a main event.
Right.
If he falls off the card now, they still got Plant to carry the card.
Definitely. So, and you have until so the guess is later this year. You have plenty of time to get Plant in there with a nice opponent.
Yeah,
Jaime Munguia maybe or someone like that. If
correct, there's Berlanga,
who's talking about this. He saw that this fight got made, and he started chirping. This
it's wild. The shit he's saying is fucking insane. Like, dude,
man, he's really pushing Clarissa Shields and Wilder out of the way. As
he is. Him and Teofimo have taken the title.
Yeah, Clarissa Shields and Wilder are now like vying for second and third. Teo and Berlanga are like tied for top. They're 1A and 1B. Flip a coin on what day each one's talking. So, guys, I'm just speaking personally. With Caleb Plant's age and there being guys around there, I think Caleb Plant should fight other guys before a guy who, who the Charlos are pulling the Keith Thurman through, 3 or 4 fights in
Yeah,
4 or 5 years thing.
I think it'll once. I think they got to. I think Plant will go on like his. You know, how guys do this. They go on like their last hurrah.
Yeah,
So I think he'll do this and probably. What do you think? Like 5 more fights over the last 18 months of his career, and then he'll probably. He's a good analyst, so he's
I'll
good on
say
the mic.
5 fights in 2 years.
Yeah, and then I think he'll.
How old is
Unless
he
it's.
now? 32, 33? Caleb Plant. If you
Let's look
look it
him up.
up, I can go into the
Yeah, I
you want
got
me to
it.
go, you want me to move on, B, from
Yeah,
this?
move on.
Go while you're looking just to see how
Sure.
old Caleb Plant is. Because B and I look, guys, we talk about Canelo's last run at 34, and it's like, but that's an
32.
old 34 with Canelo. So
32.
yeah, I think Plant will go 5 fights in 2 years against all
And
named
then
guys.
I think he'll settle in as a commentator.
After this tune up with this Jose Armando Resendez, I think it's like 4 name guys, and then he's out
Correct.
here.
Yeah.
And then we think, no matter what you think, guys, we're saying Charlos, both of them are a wild card. Win, lose, draw. This might be the last you see him. What if he knocks him out? Then they get gassed again and think they can
I
beat
personally
everyone.
think Plant's going to put it on him if they fight.
I think there's going to be. It's way too early for us to talk about that, but
Yeah.
because of their craziness, I think something crazy is going to happen. So when it happens, which looks like it'll probably be fall-ish, I can tell you what my prediction is going to be. Like some fucking mental breakdown, Oliver McCall shit during
Yeah.
the fight.
During the fight.
The
Okay.
WBC could order Ray Vargas versus Shushu Carrington for the WBC featherweight world
boy.
title if Steph Coolboy Fulton moves up to challenge O'Shaquie Foster for the WBC super featherweight world title.
That's crazy to
But
me.
agreed. But Shushu was just on ESPN saying none of these guys want to sign this with me. I don't mean talking heavy. In other words, talking crazy. Shushu's super articulate, has a career in the future of being an analyst. But he was basically like, yo, all of these rumors are floating around, but no one is saying okay. So I don't even know that this is out there.
I think with Shushu, he's a last week I said I think that the top guys beat him. I said it on the show.
Yeah, I agreed.
But he's risky. So there's not a big he's very risky for those guys too. If they do lose to him, what happens? He's got a big profile. It's not like, you this is all about, protecting the record against he's not superstar enough skills wise.
It's very
to
tricky
lose
where
against.
he's at. Where he's at is tricky. He's not a star where you're getting 3 million at
Right.
at 122 and 126 to fight, or 5 million. Or
But he's very popular.
He's immensely popular on the East Coast,
Right.
specifically in New York, be it in Brooklyn or Manhattan.
Which that's where they'll book the show.
But to me, Ray Vargas has brass balls, not taking anything. He's not fighting. Should have get off the pot.
That guy
vacate, man. Vacate and then make another good fight with a guy there.
Right.
Wild to me thinking Scooter going to 30 to fight O'Shaquie.
Yeah, I don't like it.
I don't either.
I don't know why.
I don't either. You're not going to get there's other guys at 26 that are really good.
Right.
To unify. And for the division, their names. I don't mean their names in every household. They're not household names, but they're boxing names at 26.
Yeah.
Am I crazy to think,
no,
why don't you guys unify this division? And this Ray Vargas, I don't know what he's doing. He's fought, twice in how many years?
Was the Nick Ball fight the last fight?
Definitely that I remember. And that was a while. I think he's fought like twice in 2 years. This Ray Vargas. And he got knocked around by Nick Ball and somehow escaped. Wasn't it a draw?
Yeah, and yes. So
he
that
got
was
knocked around and beat up and
just
dropped.
over a year ago. He lost to O'Shaquie Foster, came back, and there was a split draw with Nick Ball.
So he's fought twice in 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Did we talk on air? My apologies to the listeners if we
Bro,
did.
I want to read this off to you. It's not just twice in 2 years. He fought July of 2019, November of 2021, July of 2022, February 23,
So you're
March
basically
24.
getting so like 5 times in 6 years. This guy's fought.
Get
Yeah, out of
rid
here.
this guy.
Out of here.
Put him on
Outta
the
here.
island.
Out of here. You're trying to make this, and trying means the WC has proposed it. Whatever that
Yeah.
means, because everyone knows what we think about these sanctioning bodies. But whatever that means, if they even fucking throw you a fucking fax, a one sheet proposing it, you say, I'm taking that fight if you're Ray Vargas, or else
Yeah.
you're out of here. You fought 5 times in 6 years, you're out of here.
You're out.
You're keeping this fucking you're keeping this title hostage, and you got beat by Nick Ball and got a gift draw. You should have been right back in there to show the
Correct.
right back in there. So they either got to strip him or make that fight. Like you said, people don't want to fight Tszyu because it is what we talk about over and over and over on this show. All risk, no reward, because he's known, but not known enough to where you get the payday of fighting a known guy.
Right.
So the incentive of money goes out, but he's still known enough. And then if he beats you, you're like, well, he's a kid, and not a kid because he's 28 now, but he barely has any fights and he hasn't beaten anyone. So it doesn't look good regardless, but they got to make that fight or strip Ray Vargas and make the Tszyu fight versus blank for the title because it's vacant. Did we speak on air about this? If we did, my apologies to our faithful listeners. The last Crescendo pay-per-view numbers, because we definitely did, and I'm forgetting if we said it.
Forgetting too.
Because I always say to you guys, they talk about Tank, the face of boxing, and he did this. Because remember, we read his numbers; it was like 260,000 or something, and I said, that's not the face of boxing. Then you defended Tank and said, Vin, there's different metrics now. It isn't what it used to be. There's different ways to do stuff. There's different perception of how you do stuff. And even ratings on TV aren't the same, because if you got 1 million viewers for something, you were shitting the bed. Now they're throwing 180 million at you for a show. I'm specifically talking about wrestling companies. During that Monday Night War shit where you told me, yeah, we all used to watch it in the forums and stuff. Bro, one of them was doing 5 million. The other one was doing 5 million. Monday nights were doing 10 million viewers
What's it doing
wrestling. Bro, WWE, right now part of TKO, part of Endeavor, one of the biggest sports conglomerates on earth. It's barely cracking 1 million viewers a week, and they're making more money than they ever had. Nowhere 9 billion, I think. And they could not be happier. And that's a shit number. Guys, I'm telling you, B was in TV, and for whatever reason, I guess it's because I'm in music, I always study 2 things: box office of films and TV ratings. It's the shits they're throwing. Netflix gave them a 10-year something $1 billion deal. Peacock gave them $500 million. That was the Peacock deal.
Yeah, they're just overpaying for these rights.
They're just overpaying. The company that's not doing well, AEW, B, they re-upped for 180 million.
So they're doing well then. Like, this is how they're doing well.
Their weekly rating is like 660,000.
Well, what was it? ESPN just dropped baseball because they paid 500 million or something for rights, and no one's watching baseball.
B, the lead in reruns to AEW slaughters it. It's that show about the nerds that was huge, but it's not on anymore. It's like a group of young nerds. It's a sitcom. Their lead-in crushes them. Reruns of a 2000 and 2010 show of the show about nerds does like close to 1 million. And they're doing
what is the name? I know the name. I know the show you're talking about. But yes, I don't think
Marciano's mother was wrapped up. Big Bang Theory.
Got it.
It almost cracks 1 million. That show does like 600, 668, and they're just throwing money at him, Turner. Throwing money at him. Guys, when B and I were young, you were dropped. You were dropped. You were getting canceled. When they threw off WCW, B, when it was considered a failure,
right?
They were doing like a 2. It's everything is
It's
shifted,
wild.
guys.
So
But
go ahead.
anyway,
So you got numbers.
so we talked about it, guys. I apologize on my behalf and Brandon's if we said it. The last crescendo with two foreign fighters generated 340,000 pay-per-views. Tank Davis, the self-proclaimed face of the sport. We read the number. I believe it was 260,000 for the Lamont.
I thought it was 290, but yeah, whatever.
Okay. It was
Yeah,
below
less.
300. Two guys who don't speak English and aren't from here.
Well, in fairness, look, because I'll play devil's advocate here.
This B really doesn't want to fucking say this Tank isn't the star.
It's not Tank. It's not. That's not what I'm talking about. It's the biggest card ever. We touted it as that. So I think it would be unfair and unresponsible to say it was Bivol better Biev because it's the last crescendo. It was,
the average Joe is way
you had
hornier.
You had 7 title fights.
The average casual fan is way hornier for the YouTuber versus Mike Tyson than the last crescendo. I don't care that I thought it was the best card ever. And by the way, I do. Whether or not the fights turned out that way, that's a different topic for another day.
Best booked card.
Via looking at a card before it played out, that was the best card of all time.
Sure.
There wasn't one name on there that would make a casual fan buy that pay-per-view. There wasn't one real casual fan that pokes the bear with me that says, Paz, is this worth watching? That hit me up regarding that. Not one. And people hit me up all the time. Paz, is this going to be good? And they won't know the guys. It's going to happen this weekend. Yo, this guy Boots, I've heard you mention him. Should I watch it?
Of course.
So 340,000 and the self-proclaimed face of the sport.
Now, do you think if the price point, do you think that has anything to do with it?
Yes.
You do.
This card,
it's $25.
This card is $100 pay-per-view on anyone else's promotion. Any other promotional unit throws that
right.
card.
No, what I'm saying is, do you think that it worked?
That's what I'm getting at. So any other promotion has this at 100 a clip, it does 100,000 buys.
The last crescendo.
Yes. 100,000 buys. That pay-per-view at $100, which it was probably worth on paper, crunching the numbers, back of the napkin math. See, I put news in here to get you mad. This has me mad because I like getting you riled up. So I see the UK pay-per-view price and I go, oh, good on them. They know we're not paying for this. So I see the UK pay-per-view price for Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor Ben will be $21.99. You know, and that's a big deal
for us. Yeah.
The pay-per-view price for the rest of the world will be $24.99. The balls they have charging outside of the UK for this fight, I can't articulate the set of balls this Eddie has.
I don't think they care. They probably know it's not going to be widely watched, but yeah, it should be free to us on DAZN, no?
Can they do a couple 100,000 buys only in the UK?
I don't know. I've been wrong about
someone's got to look. Every time we ask for our UK fans to write in, they do. I really want to hear from them specifically on that. Guys, let's pretend like it's not, no one here is going to buy it. I'm going to tell you.
Hang on, weighing the gate.
Yeah, it's sold out.
65,000.
Yeah, sold out.
Does the pay-per-view matter when the gate is that big?
It matters to a degree. Absolutely.
Okay.
And but they have a number where they say, yo, it's absolutely going to do this amount here.
To me, if the gate is 65,000 and the pay-per-view is 22 pounds, they're going to do just fine without me and you buying it. Meaning us overseas.
That's what I'm getting into.
Yeah. They don't need us.
I'm saying, all right, so that's a good take, because I'm about to build on that by saying, guys, listeners of this show, okay? The Knock 'em Out Nation, the Knocker Nation, the Knockies. We love you. Let me tell you something, guys. This thing's going to sell like 75 buys outside of the UK.
Yeah.
Like 9 people are going to buy this, and
no
2
one cares.
of them are me and B.
Yeah. It's so, look.
Guys, B might not buy this. He might figure out a way and go hang with this Ray Known, and they might.
We usually go to the bar.
I'm going to buy it because if I'm being frank, I have to, because this is our job. It's not our main job for B and I, it's our secondary job.
I'm
going to buy it. I'm gonna pay $25. You guys know how I talk. I'm a spot cone. I don't care about money when it comes to being cheap. I'm the antithesis of cheap. This has me hot on principle, not the number. If it was $5, I'd be hot.
Yeah.
When I tell you guys, because we have a lot of listeners from the UK,
What is their
what are
their purses? That could have a lot to do with it. To get these two guys in the ring at this point,
they gotta be getting each paid $3 million. No,
so this might.
Is that crazy to think that three?
What I'm saying is they might just have to do this to cover.
But I'm saying, is it crazy that I'm thinking 3.5 million pounds to each?
No, not when they're fucking doing 65,000 at a stadium. No,
I don't know what a gate's gonna look like at 65,000. I don't know what the tickets are, how many pounds they are.
A lot. Look,
so if you go every ticket, it's 100 pounds, and there's 65. 65,000. So is that 6.5 million pounds just there? If it's every ticket's 100, if you just do back of that napkin math, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Not $65 million, $6.5 million, right? I can't do, me, bro. I'm slow at math. I was in like advanced level English and stuff, and then with kids who like ate paint chips in math in class. Like the kid next to me was eating a pencil while I did math because I got it.
Well, you're right. No, it's 6.5 million, but the tickets will be more than that ringside.
Yeah,
some will be less.
3,000 pounds ringside.
But the point I'm making is Tank does 21,000 at the Barclays Center. This is 3 times the size of that already. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So the gate will be 3 times size. I don't know what the prices are going to be. I don't know what UK prices are.
Not Conor Ben and Chris Eubank, but I think you meaning you, Brendan, my friend, undersell the importance of Tank's subpar numbers outside of the Ryan Garcia fight, which did, I think, over 1 million.
If we're talking about the face of boxing, I don't think it's a question. He's not to me, he's not the face of boxing. He is a good live gate guy. His live gate numbers are always fantastic. And his pay-per-views historically are not good.
You can't keep paying someone.
Look, the problem
a certain level.
I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. Tank's not relevant enough for people to hate watch him, and he's not popular enough, smart enough, articulate enough, I'm not just trying to shit on Tank.
I know you're not.
Or doesn't have the right opponent to cross over.
Agreed.
Where the casuals are going to buy,
and it did really well.
Correct, because
really well.
You had a very popular Latino fighter, and tribalism runs boxing.
Yes.
So people hate watched that fight.
Yes.
And thought maybe Tank is going to get clipped. This, that, and
And to be fair, the people that don't love Ryan Garcia hate him. He's not a fighter where people are in the middle.
No, he's very polarizing.
Right. So you're like, I want to watch this guy get sparked out. No, I want to watch this guy get sparked out.
Correct.
So you got 2 Floyds fighting.
Right. You have it with Tank, there are like tweener fans because he's not compelling enough personally to
Tank's got the hood on Smash. That's really it.
Yep. He does. Yeah, he's got yes.
Oh, I love this is strictly to get your blood boiling. This news bit. I wonder if you've heard it yet. Fabio Wardley and Jarrell Big Baby Miller are finalizing a deal for a 12-round heavyweight fight on June 2nd at Portman Road Stadium.
Did you see what happened today?
Ipswich, England. Big Baby is convinced that Fabio Wardley made a diss record. Fabio Wardley said, I don't know what the fuck are you talking about? And Big Baby Miller mushed him. And it was real.
He made a diss record.
And Fabio Wardley's like, no, I didn't. I swear.
Fabio Wardley raps?
I don't know. So then after they were separated, when you have motherfuckers in different places, but they're on the same screen, the old split screen promo in wrestling?
Yeah.
They had that, and Wardley's like, bruv, I don't know what he's talking about, man. It's not me, brother. If it was me, I would stand on it, bro.
Right.
And then, so this is after he got mushed. Then Big Baby cuts a Brooklyn promo, but they had a mic fucked up. So you like really have to watch it. So I can't do
Yeah, fuck
can't
him.
do the Brooklyn guy, but he's vexed This is probably the fourth big thing he's gotten since B and I had our
Yay!
what's it called? What's the bet you don't put money on? Handshake?
Gentleman's bet. Yeah.
Gentleman's bet. Where I said not only will this fucker be back, but he's going to be back against real names in real on real cards. And here, this I think is the fourth time he got Dubois, who is now the champion of the world for the IBF, even though Usyk never lost it in the ring. Fabio Wardley's big over there. He's undefeated.
You see Dubois on Saturday?
I saw him there. Yes. Is that his son, the kid that looks like him, or his little brother?
I don't know. He's impossible to listen to.
It's tough. I think there's something. Something there, and it's.
I'm not being funny. There is.
Neither am I.
I'm not making.
That's
fun
why
of
I'm not making fun of it. That's why I seriously we would.
I want to.
We would normally go into our thing where we cut a promo.
I got to find out if he's off limits or not.
Yeah, because
let me tell you
something wrong there.
If he's not off limits,
oh yeah, we're cooking him. Yeah, guys,
get the barbecue out.
I think there's something wrong with Riley, so it's the jokes have to stay within a certain thing. If what I believe is true.
Yeah, but he at least has comedic timing. Rolly, he says shit that's funny. Like he'll be like,
I don't think he means to. A blind squirrel finds a nut every now and then, I think is what's happening there. If you run your mouth enough.
Yeah, well, Daniel Dubois, I'm not going to say anything. Anyway.
Yeah, we got to find out from someone over there. Yeah. I know who, too. Our guy from you know who. You're going to see him this weekend.
Yeah.
Jay Apathy Claudio Squayo has been postponed and will not take place on May 13th due to a minor injury to Apathy.
I thought he was fighting Gilberto Ramirez.
A lot is going on here, B. That's why I wanted you to. So it's now been moved to Sunday, June 8th, Gold Coast, Australia. Look, I'm not gonna because it was moved 3 weeks. I'm not gonna harp on it, but this kid's gotta stay active, man. You're not in yes, you're not in a glamour division, and people are talking about you. The last thing you want is for people to forget you and stop talking about you. Because
he's 29.
You and I really want a Jay Apathy.
He fought in January.
Yeah, so it's going to be
it's going
to be 6 months when he gets in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Fighting twice a month as a 29-year-old cruiserweight is not enough if you want your name wants to ring bells.
Right.
Now, if they're throwing millions at him to fight in Australia, I guess he knows something we don't.
Mm-hmm.
And again, like we have Australian friends and Coach Marcos, and we have Australian listeners. If you guys tell us, yo, guys like Tszyu, guys like Jay Apathy here, they sell things out and they get the bag regardless of anything, then I get it. This is wild. This is and frustrating to me. It's both crazy and frustrating. Diego Pacheco has now withdrawn from his ordered fight against Christian and Billy for the interim super middleweight belt. Tomorrow's purse bids have been canceled as a result. Representatives for Diego Pacheco and Trevor McCumbee have reached an agreement for a fight this summer. Please explain this to me, B. Run everything. There's a belt in line with Billy, who's good. You know, we have our
so that's Matchroom, and Billy is with Top Rank.
Correct. Or is he with Eye of the Tiger via Top Rank?
Whatever the case is, he's not with Matchroom.
He's not.
He's fighting on ESPN. I'll bet this has a lot more to do with the ESPN scandal shit. Did you see Oscar's clapback?
Not yet.
Oh, you got to watch it.
Is it his clapback Thursday or just
his clapback Thursday directed at Top Rank?
Okay.
But he's so weird.
I'm gonna find it and use it as the intro.
What I was gonna say was, I think this has to do with a network thing. This is so they're gonna keep.
Well, I'd be mad. I'd be mad at the wording then if I'm Pacheco and his team. I'd be mad at the wording. I'm just being honest. It doesn't look good.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't look good. Look, those are two real ranked guys in a division.
Get him going.
Run by the face of the real face of boxing owns that division. So guess what? You guys want to create other stars for when he steps away? Because that's the plan, guys. He's done. He's done with elite shit other than this Bud thing that B's not even sold on. He's fighting Skull, then Bud, and then we've already called it. He's going to do the Joe He's gonna do he's gonna do the Brown Bomber, Joe Louis, and make big fights, not necessarily good ones. A Jake
Right.
Paul type guy, some guy from some other weight class that they know he can beat, but he'll fight some cruiserweight that's got a belt or something weird like that. It's gonna be something weird like that, or some guy at 75 not named Benavidez and better be it.
Speaking of Benavidez,
Which we're getting into. Dmitry Bivol has informed the WBC he's vacating his light heavyweight title ahead of tomorrow's scheduled purse bid for his ordered fight with Benavidez. Bivol plans to proceed with an Artur Beterbiev trilogy, according to a letter obtained by The Ring. By the way, a friend of mine, Mike Coppinger, who has been at ESPN for years, moved over to The Ring and is now the beat guy. Cop, congratulations. You're a good writer. You earned it, Cop. Good for you. Cop's a good kid. Benavidez has been elevated to full WBC light heavyweight world champion.
Email
champ. Benavidez held the, I'm doing air quotes, guys who aren't watching the video, interim belt prior to Dmitry Bivol's vacancy of the title in that win against David Morrell, only because he fought David Morrell. Am I a little bit less angry? But it's still an email championship, guys. But in reality, if that fight was for the belt, look, man, he didn't beat the champion, guys, to get this belt.
No.
So he is now the WBC.
But he tried to fight him.
He went there and said, I'm going to fight the winner of this fight. He was ringside in Saudi, in Riyadh, to say, I want to fight the winner of this fight. That fight was made, so he fought Morrell, who was a brilliant fighter. And that was a great fight, a great showing. We love David Benavidez here. I have nothing bad to say about this. Just interim shit is just bullshit to me anyway. No matter how it is bestowed upon you. People fighting for them. I think Tevin and Benavidez was for the interim belt, because Core hadn't done this or whoever had, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whatever belt.
I'm trying to see who he's going to fight. Benavidez.
I mean, who's there?
He just fought Morrell.
Fought Kvozdik, who's top 10 and good.
And the two top guys. And then it's Callum Smith, Buatsi. They just fought. You know who he's going to fight?
I think he's going to fight Callum Smith. You tell me who you think he's going to fight.
Callum Smith's promoted by Matchroom. Anthony Yard is promoted by Frank Warren.
Who is he going to fight, Long? The left kid. Anthony Yard. As he's saying this, Callum, there's our picks, guys, because he's got to stay busy, and he doesn't mind staying busy, and he's got to wait. My guess is this is September.
Zach Parker's promoted by Sauerland. Maybe he'll get a Zach, like someone like that.
Someone like that, stay busy, beat him up.
Mm-hmm. I'm just trying to look through here and see.
While you're doing that, Richardson Hitchens will defend his IBF super lightweight world title against George Kambosos Jr. on June 14th at the Theater of Madison Square Garden in New York City.
That's free money for Billy.
Probability, yes, free money, and a high probability will be there. Look, I once said on this show, it has to be years ago, that Gabe Rosado has the greatest manager in the history of boxing. I'm now bestowing that on whoever manages Kambosos. I don't know if Lou DiBella refers to himself as a manager, a handler. I don't know what DiBella Entertainment is. Is it Lou getting him these fights?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Okay, if it's, I love Lou as a human being. I got to tell Lou, if you're the guy that keeps getting him these fights, you are frankly the best manager in the sport. The same person that guided, again, I'm not talking promoter, whoever guided / managed Miguel Cotto, I used to say that was the greatest manager who ever lived. And then I moved it to Gabe Rosado.
Yeah.
And it is now bestowed. This is the 4th. Am I wrong here to say in a row, B? No, 4 out of 5. In 5 fights, I believe this is his 4th championship fight. Or 5 of 6. If we start at Teofimo Lopez, I think it goes Lopez, titles.
I'm looking right now.
2 against Haney, titles. Was Lomachenko next after that?
Yeah.
IBF title.
Maxie Hughes.
What
IBO.
The guy he just fought, though, just now wasn't for a title. It was just a mandatory, I think. The tough kid who was a replacement. He was real tough.
Yeah.
An Aussie kid. And then that's 6. 5 of his last 6 fights, and you went back to Maxie Hughes. So 6 of his last 7 fights were massive fights.
Titles.
Against real guys for titles.
All right.
If it's Lou, give him the manager of the decade, not of the year. Richardson Hitchens packs him up in New York.
It's quick. I don't know if he's going to knock him out, but he'll certainly beat him by decision widely. Once we get closer, I'll pick that. That's at the. I want to see how the undercard shapes up. That's at the theater.
Me too, and I love that place.
Could be fun.
Yeah. One last thing, unless you're building off this.
No.
News. One last bit of news. The WBC has officially ordered Shakur to defend his lightweight world title against mandatory challenger William Zepeda. The two sides have until May 6th to negotiate a deal before the bout heads to a purse bid. You mentioned Oscar cutting a promo. Shakur and Oscar were going back and forth. I didn't read someone screenshotted what they were saying.
Apparently,
I don't know what was said. I didn't read it yet because we were getting ready to come on air. And I was rushing to get our notes ready.
They're going.
So I don't know what they're saying.
The tact that's being taken now with Shakur Stevenson, and it's that he's not. They're doing the business thing instead of the meritocracy, right? So what they're saying is, Shakur doesn't sell. He's boring. He doesn't deserve these fights, right?
Okay. They is Golden Boy.
Just boxing. Yeah, anybody but Matchroom. You know what I mean?
Understood.
You know, this is what they do. So I'm gonna go now and look. All right, Oscar. Let me see. Shakur saying he's down to fight. But it was reported, and I don't know if this is a rumor or not, that the handlers in Riyadh, we know who we're talking about, offered Shakur like $350,000 for to fight Zepeda, and they would host it. And I think Shakur balked at it. I'm worth more than $350,000.
It's very tricky. Is your talent worth more than that? Absolutely. You're a top 10 fighter.
He's also a title holder
on the planet, and you have a title.
But if this is true, and that's true, I don't know if it's true. Remember when we said, or at least I said, not to take full credit, but we said, it's a innumerable amount of money, blah, 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 blah. There's only so much anybody throws good money at bad, you know what I mean? If they feel
of course.
So with this TKO announcement,
right?
I also said, I said to you, I don't think Turkey liked the last crescendo numbers.
Yes.
And I think he went, what do we got to do to, we just put this card together with 7 title fights. So, look, man.
And I spent $25 million in purses alone.
Bud Crawford didn't do shit.
Nope.
Right? That fight didn't do shit.
A bomb on pay-per-view.
This thing didn't do shit. Really, I mean, we're happy with the numbers. I'm saying that's not bad for an international fight with really no Shakur being the lone American star on it.
Yeah, against a replacement.
Against a replacement. I'm happy with those numbers, but I don't think they are. Because I've said this time and time again, not to sound overly critical, it takes time in this sport. And there's only so long you're going to throw good money at bad if you feel it's bad.
Correct. If you pay $10 million for a fight, each guy gets 5, and you realice that
But I think this is happening. We're seeing this quicker than you and I anticipated.
That very good point. We thought, this 5 years might be a 5-year run. It's looking like 18 months, guys.
So back to our original assessment of rich kids playing with toys.
Yeah.
I think that when you get certain individuals, be it 50 Cent, be it Jay-Z, be it Turkey Al-Sheikh, be it whoever we can name who's dipped their toe and feet into
Mike
this
Tyson
sport.
Promotions. Last
Evander
how many
Holyfield.
cards?
Yeah, right. What happens is they start, especially, well, at least Tyson should, if he was actually just lending his name to it or actually promoting, who knows? At this point with Tyson, it's like, really haven't heard much from him since the Jake Paul fight, like hardly anything.
Yeah.
But anyway, what I was going to get at was,
He's probably still counting the money from the
right, people who don't know boxing get into boxing, like Rock Nation. They tried it twice.
Mm-hmm.
If you remember, Dame Dash was managing fighters in like the early 2000s.
Yes, of course. You
So
mentioned 50 and Yoriokas Gamboa.
Right.
Remember?
Yeah, you get in and then they go, I think the product, it's like a chef cooking food that he likes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that might not be what everybody likes.
It's exactly what it is. I'm making my favorite dishes when you're like, my
Right.
guy, your taste is your taste. There's 200
Right.
people out there.
Right. So I think that what happens with these guys is they're successful in whatever they do as their main thing. Then they go
Yes.
into another business and it's
Yes.
not a success. And they're like, I don't want to waste my time with this.
Brandon, I understand it personally. There's things that have interested in me, but I have friends like you that care about me. They'll go, maybe you don't want to buy that thing from that Nigerian prince that you're interested in. You know what I mean? But I've said, like, you do get bored and you go, I'm gonna do this with my money.
Right.
And it's not
I think that the promoters that are working with the Saudis were like, all right, well, this is great. We don't have to work as hard. He's putting on the shows, financing anything, and we're just here to lend our fighters to these shows.
Yeah.
The shows are still not making money.
Right.
So naturally, then what does the money guy do?
Right.
He goes, I'm going to go with these guys that have like a lot of money, like I have a lot of money.
Right.
And we'll create this whole thing. In the meantime, alienating all these other guys he was working with.
Correct.
So I think that's the Shakur getting the low ball. If that's true, getting the low ball offer is a direct result of the recent meetings he's had with his current partners for this TKO thing. And that's them probably going, he's not worth a $1 million payday. When you and I know how boxing works, be it Bob, be it Eddie, Frank, Oscar, ain't going to get Shakur Stevenson in the squared circle at this point. This is an Olympic silver medalist, now a 3-weight world champion.
Undefeated
for less than $1 million. It's just not fucking less than a couple.
Has never looked like, oh, I can see how to beat him if you're a coach. You know what I mean?
Exactly. He's had some underwhelming performances, but it's not to the point where we're like, oh, that was close.
Well, I mean, right. See, that's the thing. It's like, all right, it's never been close, but he's viewed not by you and I. He's viewed as a boring fighter.
So I think that what we're starting to see is the impatience we've seen with previous people with money getting involved in this sport, be it starting a promotional company, a management company, or just individually managing fighters. And we've seen guys dip in, like 50 Cent. I don't know if there's a bigger celebrity boxing fan than him. And he's out.
You use the word non-boxing people. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know how easy it is to be lured in by the siren song of hearing Mayweather Pacquiao was 100 million, and you're an adult that just kind of likes the sport from afar, and you think you're gonna have many cards like that. You and I have friends, forget people we know, friends that have fought for $150, $250 at times in their career. I don't mean or in an Elks Lodge in Queens, or at the Blue Horizon, which, as legendary as it is, there's no paydays there in the history of the place.
Right,
guys, you're grinding it out here. Like when you see rappers that have day jobs, that's what boxing is, guys.
And it's equal. Such like promoters are fighters,
of course,
but they just do it of course outside of the ring.
And then a guy like Oscar, you have someone who was literally a fighter,
Fighter.
and they stayed a fighter. He's a
Right.
fighter. He's
Right.
cutting promos on these Thursdays because he can't get in the ring and
Right, but
mix.
even like the smaller guys like Lou or Russell Peltz,
Yes,
or
of
they
course.
hang around the sport 30,
Yes.
40 years.
Russell Peltz has been around since way before we were born.
Right. And he's still there.
He's
And-
still there, and people still love him. And
Right.
it's still
And like, for instance, like Main Event still has a fighter.
Be
You know what I
real
mean?
quick, a good analogy for people that are listening who might know my music. There are people who think that you have to be Jay or Nas or what names du jour that are younger than 21 Savage, 2 Chainz,
Drake
to be paid, and they don't understand that there's a whole world of independence, and there's not tons of them. But
Right.
guys, understand there are boxers who did really well that people on the street don't know who they are. I mentioned before the fight that I'm not going to put anyone's business out there, but that I know that guys like Tevin Farmer, right?
Mhm.
Guys like J-Rock were very smart with the money they made.
Right.
Are they someone you could just throw at somebody and they'll know who they are? Probably
not. No,
You know
but
what
they're
I mean?
professional athletes in their own
Yes.
right who Yeah.
had fought for championships,
And had good paydays.
championships, had good paydays, and they don't understand that. But they also don't understand that it isn't crazy. It is crazy to think an undefeated Olympic silver medalist who's a champion in 2 or 3 divisions. Did he go 126, 130, 135?
Yeah.
3 divisions was offered 350,000. Then now the last time, I don't know if it was the last time B or the time before that, we covered Shakur. We reported that people were saying, there was people falling asleep and people leaving in Newark, which is where he's from.
Right.
I didn't see that with my
I didn't see that
eyeballs.
either. I don't.
So I don't know if that's some
But
sort of
whatever the
story
case may be, and we got to move on.
we do.
I think that we're starting to see what we talked about 6 months ago, just
Yes.
way faster than.
Yeah, we predicted 3 to 5 years, and it's on an accelerated path of.
I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. If you want a prediction out of me right now,
I do, because that's where I want to end the news on what is going to happen with Shakur. What is going to happen with Zapata? Is he
with
going to
Shakur-
fight Zapata? Is he going to?
I think that fight will get made. I think Eddie and Oscar will come together on the zone. Because look, Eddie and Oscar, they had a money guy. That money guy went a different route, right? And said, we're going to crush you, right? My prediction is 2 things. What? 2 predictions. That Zapata Shakur fight will get made. Shakur is going to slaughter him. He's going to make it look easy, right? It'll be on DAZN pay-per-view. It'll be a relatively affordable price, okay? They'll pay Shakur. They'll pay Zapata.
You think someone other than Turki Al-Sheikh will make an affordable pay-per-view? You don't think it'll be $49.99?
I think it'll be like $35, $34.99, something like that. $29.
If this whole prediction is right, I have 2 words.
And I think they're going to be
company. Good luck.
I think that they'll probably do it around here in Newark. That'll probably be at the Rock.
Zapata is fan friendly, but not a gate draw.
No. And he doesn't deserve that fight doesn't deserve to be on neutral ground. I think that, Shakur has earned it.
I think he earns the fight at, like you said, at the Rock.
Yeah.
I'd love to have it in Philly, but his argument will be I'm less than an hour away from there. Let's just bring it where I'm at.
Right.
The success of the Boots fights in Philly just makes me want people to breathe life into it. You know what I mean? And people from Newark will come to Philly. They will travel.
It could be on a co-feature, but what I was going to get at was I think that this Dana White Turki Al-Sheikh, I don't think that's going to last, that relationship. I don't think it'll. I don't think we're going to see success out of it.
I have strong feelings on Dana White. And when I say strong, there's some things you're passionate about that you don't mind saying on air.
Right.
There's some people you don't like that much where you go, I don't care. I'm going to say.
Right.
That's how strong mine are about him. I think that dude could annoy someone who has sainthood and be like, I'm out.
Well, I mean, Oscar's clapback sort of touches on it. It's like,
if it gets into 2026, that relationship,
you'd be surprised.
I'll be surprised.
I just think many will come, many will go, many have gone from boxing.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think this is going to be, we'll remember this fondly for what it was.
Yes. Yo, remember that time for like close to 2 years? A bunch of good shit got made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
We got to
so
move on. And now we wasted a lot of time. We got to blast through this.
All
No,
right. So I'm going to
we don't
talk
have to
about,
blast through it.
I'm going to talk
Get it.
about some things.
We got nowhere to go. We got nothing to do.
I'm going to talk about some things only because we're always looking for that next prospect on the show. You know what I mean? So Saturday morning for us, another one of these things where they won't just tell it when it is. It looks like someone at Boxing Scene listens to our show and is now putting Eastern Standard times next to the fight. And I meant to hit you personally, not personally, you know what I mean? Like in our personal life. I'd be like, yo,
hit me?
someone's hearing us and they are not putting actually when it's on, where it's not a guessing game.
Okay.
So I didn't know when the Alamhanallah fight was going to be because it was in Kazakhstan. So I'm going, well, they're this many hours ahead of us. Is this going to be in the? It said 10 a.m. on Boxing Scene. It came on at 11. If you're within an hour, I'm not cutting you on a promo on you.
Right.
All of their numbers for this weekend, it started. Every number was right. So on Boxing Scene, guys, if that's where you want to go for the boxing schedule, they have now updated it, which B were going, none of these motherfuckers put a time or a day.
Right.
So we had Saturday morning boxing. This Paz, he can't stay up. I pass out Saturday morning. Look, Corey Erdman, Boom Boom Mancini on the call. Look, B's making a face. His face got to be about Boom Boom. Here's what I love. Then tell me what you hate. Because what you hate is what I love, I think. You hate that he probably hasn't watched boxing since he boxed. I
don't think he watched boxing when he boxed.
I like when he gets hype. Throw to left. He's all riled up.
Oh, he's terrible. He's so bad.
I couldn't wait for you to
he's-
say that because
first of all, speaking voice isn't good. It's
another great job by Corey Erdman.
So
Corey,
I'm with
shout out
everybody that I was with on Saturday. I wanted to do a temperature test.
Are you there for this? You guys got linked up early?
No.
Did you watch this?
I brought up Erdman. Don't
tell me they all killed him.
The opposite.
They
Everybody there has worked with him, and they said he's the most prepared.
I can tell.
Studies the whole week. He goes to every optional event.
I can tell.
That you can go to, like, how we get the updates for what we're privy to, which is really nice.
Yes.
We could do fight stuff all week. He goes to everything. He conducts interviews that he's not getting paid for. He joins Zoom calls he's not getting paid for. Dude, guys, this is what it takes. Like when they say 1,000 hours of practice, 10,000 hours of practice, whatever.
Yep.
This Erdman is a boxing fanatic. He's encyclopedic with fights, recent and old. This is what I'm just repeating what people are saying. And on top of it, he's a great guy. And if you need help, like while you're working, you can't find something, you want to make a point, you can nudge him and he won't steal your point. You can bring up something you want to talk about. He'll help you right.
That is unheard of in this business.
Unheard of.
I don't mean in boxing. I mean in entertainment.
Hey, look.
It's unheard of.
I just tweeted some shit out and then put it on our social media. You guys will hear about this 2 days later. That I feel like we're not the most popular podcast out there. We're trying to be.
Yeah.
But we're certainly the most prepared.
Yeah.
And we're certainly structurally the most prepared. And when we create the summaries for this stuff, no one else does that. And no one else titles the shows the way we do, and no one else talks about it. And I'm convinced it's not a coincidence that other popular boxing podcasts, because I listen to them all, have shifted their, the way they do stuff, and it seems very similar to how we're doing it.
I'd like to say that we talked about this, you and I. We agreed, and Irish Billy Betts had some choice words for us, and you walked off the show because he was being so disrespectful. And
dismissive is the word.
He was. And I back you all the time, no puff. But look, guys, We're being watched.
What
How's
what
that? How's that?
what I'm getting at is
Irish
this
Billy came on for a second.
all to your point. I'm piggybacking on your point. All
Mhm.
people in entertainment, they could be your best friend.
Yes.
If you have a good idea, they'll
Steal it.
backbite you and steal it,
So,
and
mummy rap, it's over.
that's it. All right,
There's
moving
Billy,
on.
it's a turncoat, if you will.
Well, Billy, I think supports it. Maybe they're getting the
He's
idea
getting the
from
he's
Billy.
getting
He's the
as soon
mole.
as we end it, he texts them.
I
There's
bet he
like
does.
5 to
He's on the
10
take?
shows and journalists. He's on the take.
I noticed he had new rims on his whip.
Uh-huh.
Rims. Imagine that he bought rims.
Uh-huh.
Well, things have been down lately. You know, Tony Taro hasn't been coming through.
Hey,
So I gotta.
that's
Yeah,
not true.
had to make ends
That's not
meet.
true with this week.
That's dark.
That's
not
not
true.
true.
I'm open for collaboration, as we call it in the biz.
Okay.
He sold us up the river for
Collaboration means I'm down to send these two up the river for Shkaro.
That's it. Well, don't be surprised if you see Billy on another podcast.
I'm coming back though,
Or
baby.
floating down the Hudson.
That could
We're-
be.
Or the
We're
Schuylkill.
making a comeback.
Could
We
be.
are. We're coming back. Saturday morning, ESPN, Barris Arena, Astana, Kazakhstan. Corey Erdman, who is becoming one of the best.
He's the
is
best.
one of the best in the biz. B doesn't want to talk about Boom Boom Mancini. Look, Mahmoud Sabir Khan, pro debut. He was an elite amateur out of Kazakhstan. Versus Hoin Duck Dung. Do you believe this to be Long Duck Dung's cousin? Yes,
It
or no?
is.
It is.
It is. And
Bantamweight.
I'm a huge fan of Say
The
Anything.
Donger.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 16 Candles, not saying anything.
Oh, it's 60. Oh, right, okay.
Look, Sabir Khan keeps his hands low, plays around a lot, definitely mimicking that playfulness of Naseem Ahmed. It's funny though, he has a switch in his brain, B, where he goes, okay, enough fucking around, and then gets to work and changes the style. He turns it on and off. Beautiful footwork, head feints, foot feints, heavy hands. Hamed is the influence as far as entertainment. In ring, he's a student of the Anatoly Lomachenko, Papachenko style of boxing. I don't know that he worked with Papachenko, but that he's clearly studying that style. In the second round, Sabir Khan drops Hoin with a perfect left to the body, folds him up. His trainer walks on to the ring apron to wave it off and is waving it off. And the ref goes, no, and shushes the corner guy back to get down. The guy gets up. The fight continues.
That's some fucking Arthur McCanty Jr. shit.
Yes.
Throwing a towel back out of the ring.
Back at him. Sabir Khan puts another left downstairs. Same thing happens. This time, this fucking maniac ref in Kazakhstan finally gets what's happening here. And he packs the guy up. It's my opinion that this kid can be special. Mahmoud Sabir
Has he
Khan,
prospect?
Nah, not yet. Not on your pro debut. We can't say that. But they're gonna move him fast, Brendan. And I mean not just fast, like 5-6 fights he's fighting a real guy. They're gonna bring him here.
Okay.
You know, other people are gonna see him not having to watch a Kazakhstani card at 10 a.m. is what I'm getting at. Sooner rather than later. Maybe a couple over there, but by 3, 4, 5 fights, we're gonna see this kid's a gun. Batrazan Jukambayev, 23-1, 17 KOs. His only loss was to Subriel Matias during that run where B and I was saying, guys, this is the guy. Versus that kid Kane Gardner, who fights a lot of those British regional cards. I've seen him times, on those cards over there. Jukambayev is strong, just a physically strong fighter. Fairly traditional Euro style, but he's a southpaw. Fires that left hand right down the middle, throws it straight to the body, then throws a short, crisp uppercut with it, all with that left and all straight. Kane Gardner was fighting to survive, high guard, moving, not firing back. So Jukambayev just kept moving his hands. It's what you do when a guy fights like that, hitting his arms, his shoulders, splitting the guard, bang the body, chop wood, very Rocky Marciano-esque. I had 190 for Batrazan Jukambayev. Judges got it right. I couldn't understand them because he didn't read them in English, but he won, so they got them right. He's gonna have no one's gonna line up to fight him, so he's gonna have to press and become a mandatory for something to happen. You know, them kind of guys, like you just talked about it. All risk, no reward. You know, he can punch. He's only got one loss to Subrael, you know, so he's going to have to just press at 140 to get one of those guys to fight him, or else they're going to go, why am I fucking going to fight this?
Right.
Come forward guy from over there. Main event, Janibek Alhanala versus Anuel and Gamasenge, IBF and WBA middle world titles.
What do you think of that hairdo? In Gamasenge, he had the half-dyed beard.
Half gimmick. He reminds me of a French, who's the guy we like with the mascot that looks just like him? Abraham.
Yeah, he's
Nova.
Abraham Nova. Isn't he going to be on this? He's supposed to be on this weekend's card.
Is he? That's my guy.
He was supposed to be.
Remember
Jean Mormec?
John Mormec.
Yeah, he did the same shit. He would dye his
the half gimmick.
Mm-hmm.
B, for whatever it's worth, you know, I don't think you believe it's worth anything. Sometimes I do. I genuinely believe Alam Hanala wants the unification fights with Adames and Lara. I think they're actively trying to make those fights. So if they don't get made, I'm putting on those guys and their promoters. B. That's just me, because I think he wants those fights. Alam Hanala looked much smoother and fluid.
Nova fell off the card, it looks like.
Okay. Look,
sorry.
Being smoother and fluid is something I don't think I've ever seen before, where a guy added that, because you can't learn that. I've never seen that in all my years of watching boxing. A guy that me and you think is stiff, no diddy, plodding, bad feet, predictable, moves forward, has his head on the line. Somehow this guy's got a fucking pep in his step and he's moving his fucking hands.
He's in his home country.
But how does someone do that? Look, a guy who added something I didn't think you could learn: fluidity and athleticism. I've never seen it ever. A beautiful 1-2 hurt in Gamasenge in the first, and like a true pro, Alam Hanala said, all right, let me throw that shit right again.
Yep.
Boom, boom. I heard him. Boom, boom. Threw it and dropped him. Really good stuff. This is by far the best I've seen Alam Hanala look. And I'm beyond impressed with his improvement and what this team is doing.
To me, the jury's still out because
of who he is.
Yeah.
My buddy Steve Kim said the same thing. He said, look, he wasn't in there with Marvin Hagler, but I saw improvement, you know, or he wasn't in there with whoever he mentioned. But I'm just impressed. It was subtle, tricky stuff, Philly gym stuff, pushing off with his shoulders to create a little space before he cracks you, creating angles for himself, more sophisticated footwork. He had none before, hooking off that jab. This kid in Gamasenge, at very least, is tough. He was undefeated. He was ranked.
Last guy he fought was like 12-42.
True. Look, I'm not saying it was the smartest game plan.
He does have a good win against that Polish guy.
Yeah. He stayed in the pocket and threw shots, B. I'm not saying it's
in shape. He's in great shape.
Yeah, great shape. Look, I thought it was pretty fun. He didn't come to lay down for a check in Gamasenge.
No, and in the fifth when he got stopped, he was landing big shots.
I thought it was fun. He was landing big shots.
Yeah, it was good. And by the way, I don't know about you.
Mm-hmm.
My ESPN app worked fucking fine during that fight.
Did. Same here. Hey, both guys, I know it's weird to say this, especially during a fight that ends the way it ended, but both guys have chins. And they were both eating some shots, man. Look, Janibek lands a left hook that had Ngamasenge out on his feet.
Yeah.
He's cooked. Then he throws another one behind it. I think, look, it's only April. That might be the punch of the year. The second left hook. His head should have landed in the third row. This kid fucking somehow beats the count. He was still out on his feet, and the corner stopped it. But he got up. Yeah. This kid's tough as nails. I want to see him again. How's that? He showed me something. What a performance from Janibek Alam Hanala. I'm now on the bandwagon. Let's unify. B. My friend Steve Kim of the 3 Knockdown Rule podcast are both saying the same thing. Yeah, he looked really good, but guys, you have to
remember who it's against.
Who he is fighting. It's
caliber of opponent might be the most important thing in boxing.
Couldn't agree more. And we don't know if Ngamasenge is good. If he comes back and maybe fights and beats a top 10 guy. I don't know where that Polish kid was ranked, but he could fight that he beat. He was doing some things in there that allowed me to see that he's a capable fighter who can handle himself.
Yeah.
But we won't know. You never know when it's an unknown guy until their career moves on. We just brought it up last episode where we talked about Joey Spencer. We said, yo, they built that kid up and then he lost to Ramos. And you go, oh, he got packed by a guy we don't know. And then you go, oh, that guy's pretty good. But we're going to get into that.
Right. All right. Next
correct.
thing.
Yeah. Look, they got to unify here, B.
Yeah, dude, he's got 2 belts.
Look, he's got 2 belts. Adames has 1. Lara has 1. They need to unify that division.
Figure that fucking division out already.
Lara got a shit to get off the pot. Adames will fight anybody.
Maybe Lara's stuck on the pot because his arthritis is so bad, and he's because he's 100.
Because he needs a walker to get everywhere.
Fucking Christ, shit in a fucking diaper.
The Zone Co-op Live, Manchester. It's my venue. Joyce versus Filip Hrgovic, heavyweight.
Bro. Holy
Big,
shit.
slow, lumbering guys. B and I picked.
What can we
Filip
say?
Hrgovic. We said it was a matter of who was less slow.
I'm going to tell you something.
lumbering.
You know what I noticed? Hrgovic don't like resistance.
No.
He does not like getting hit.
No.
I was screaming and he listened, by the way.
He heard you.
Joyce was, I don't know why some of the cards were very wide. I mean, I had Hrgovic winning, but the one card was wide.
I had it 95 to 95. The card, 2 of the cards were wonky. 97, 93, and 98, 92.
How was it 98, 92? I thought
8 to 2. That's 8 rounds to 2.
No
guys.
fucking way.
No way.
So,
I had it 95,
anyway,
95. Pack them both up.
I don't want to see these fucking guys. The heavyweight division is too good to have these guys as a headliner.
Yes.
If they want to put these guys as like 4th or 5th
and fight each other again if you want to, because I had it a draw, and have it low down on the card where we can say, I'm gonna get something to eat.
Right.
Because look, the Hrgovic's 1-2 looked like it was being played in slow-mo. Somehow Joyce is slower than him. This is 2 Olympic medalists.
If Hrgovic threw a fucking straight right hand instead of a looping right hand, he probably would have knocked Joe Joyce out.
Yeah, I mean, they were thumping at certain times.
But Joyce does this weird, did you notice like this weird sort of like he cinches his body and then fucking he dips to his right.
Yeah, and you have him lined up
for a fucking uppercut or a hook.
So and fly ahead.
Hrgovic is just looking at him. Finally, towards the second half of the fight, I don't know if you noticed, he starts trying to rip a hook.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That shit sucked.
I don't care. Olympic medalist guys who both had
this shit is
both viewed as it's an indictment.
People like to see big boys thump.
It's all it is. This is
you can't put them guys as your as the main event. So Hrgovic wins a decision. There's not much to talk about.
Yeah, I do want to say this, and it's not about this fight.
You can say whatever you want. It's your show.
If you guys want to know why B and I obsess over the small weight classes, or wonder why we heap so much praise onto them, watch this. Go back and watch this mess, and you'll understand very quickly why we talk about guys like Oscar Collazo, why we talk about Bam, why we talk about Nakatani. Just watch this, and you'll see it. And the disparity in skill.
Right.
ESPN
Great point.
Plus, Palms Casino Resort, Las Vegas. We start off with DJ Zamora, 15-0, 10 KOs against Hugo Castaneda, 15-1, 15-1-1, 11 KOs, 130 pounds. DJ Zamora, 21-year-old southpaw, throws a nice crisp 1-2. His defense is leaky, which can be good for us, not for him. Maybe disastrous for him. His chin seems sturdy, though. Rather than stamping him as a prospect, I'm going to just note him. I'm going to predict that he's going to be in fun fights. Big left hook dropped Castaneda in the third. Left hook to the body dropped him again at the end of the round. Big left hand dropped him in the fourth, and Raul Caiz Jr. waves it off. Good stoppage. Look, he's young, so if they can tighten up the defense, the offensive tools are there. We have to wait and see if we're going to stamp him, because as an offensive fighter, he's going to make for wars, but they got to tighten up that defense. He was getting hit. A guy from your neck of the woods, Jahai Tucker, had a nice win over Troy Williamson. I'd like to see him step on the gas more, B. But a guy's temperament is his temperament.
I'd like to see, yeah, I'd like to see him control that and not get into so many brawls. He is easily walked into, firefights when he doesn't need to be.
I think he's got to get out of there. He's got to be aggressive and get out of there instead of hanging around for the firefight.
Right. I mean,
Let's get him right back in there against a ranked guy. Maybe I'm sure he's looking for a rematch against Nicholas Flaz, the Puerto Rican kid.
I think at some point he was knocking guys out because he also seems to be in love with power that's not there.
I agree. But I think that here's the thing.
He's a dog, though.
That's why when I say step on the gas more, it's like he thinks there's power.
Yeah.
So it's like, yo, get busier, but get out. You're not gonna stand there and ice this dude.
No, he bangs.
So right. But I'd like to see him busier and get out. Throw 4 or 5 punch combinations and get out of there.
Get out of there. Yep. I got you.
Know what I mean?
I do.
Don't get into firefights. I'm cool with the aggressiveness. If you go bing, 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 and then he is getting drawn into these things where he could win them easier.
I don't disagree. It just seems
he's in a weird place. He's only got that one loss. I think you got to put him in against guys that are ranked at some point. No, or am I bugging?
No, you're right.
Art Barrera Jr., 19 years old, fights out of the Robert Garcia Boxing Academy, 7-0, 5 KOs, versus a guy named Dijon Gonzalez, 12-5, 6 KOs, 154. Look, this kid Art Barrera can fight. Tall and rangy for that weight. Good jab, calm, gets right back into defensive position after he cracks you. Very good understanding of distance. Listens to his corner. Wow, imagine that. Started putting his shots together in the second. Left hook dropped Gonzalez in the second. Busted his nose. He beats the count. Barrera pulled up and hit him with a drive-by left hook like that walk-in uppercut Big George hit Jerry Cooney with. Rest in peace. Ref calls it off. Those drive-by shots always look deadly.
Yeah.
The guy gets up, says fight, just walks into a shot, and the guy's on Queer Street. Drive-by shots are crazy. They look the craziest. They're not always the most ill shots, but they look to the eye.
Yeah.
Just got shot. Albert Chop Gonzalez, 12-0, 7 KOs versus Dana Coolwell, 13-3, 8 KOs. This kid Dana Coolwell can fight.
Where's he from?
Australia,
New Zealand or Australia?
New Zealand. Chop Gonzalez, fun to watch, always throwing punches, not particularly interested in defense, stays in the pocket. Dana Coolwell, like I said, he only loses to undefeated fighters. You can see why. Good jab.
Yeah.
Moves a lot, likes to catch and shoot. He made Gonzalez work. He landed some nice shots in the process. Good little fight.
He's the guy who made Shushu look
yes, pedestrian.
Mortal.
Yes.
Yeah.
I had Gonzalez edging it out, and I think he's going to be in some fight of the year type of fights in the future. I don't think he's an elite guy. I think the early 2000s when the smaller guys were on Boxing After Dark and there were just bloodbaths for like 4 or 5 years. I think he's going to be in them.
Okay.
Our guy next, Abdullah Mason, 17-0, 15 KOs. Carlos Orneas, NABF and NABO lightweight titles. Guys, these are the belts B and I always talk to you about. Back in the day, when you got your hands on these, you were up next. I'd like to believe that's still true. Having a high ring IQ and being a mean, violent fighter is a very scary, deadly combination that you don't see often. You're usually one or the other. Abdullah Mason is both. Look, Carlos Orneas took the Rafael. He took the cheat code. We call him the cheat code, Espinosa, the distance a few years back. So this guy's no walk in the park. Orneas took a knee in the second and the fourth, both delayed reactions, and a veteran move to take that knee and gather yourself. I wish guys would do that more. But Abdullah Mason is a surgeon in there. He took a knee again in the sixth. The doctor stopped the fight in between rounds. I would have been okay with the ref stopping it after the third knockdown.
Yeah, me too.
Abdullah Mason, in my opinion, remains the best young fighter in the sport. What's next for him, Mr. Long? Talk to me.
Well, I think again,
what's next for him?
Well, I again saw a guy who's constantly improving. The interview was great that that he conducted. They had him a nice little profile on him to let us know who he is. This was on the heels of Ramadan, so he's Muslim.
And he fasted.
Correct.
This is rare, guys. If you go back historically, no one did that or does that.
Right. So
Amir Khan wouldn't fight near or around it.
He's hanging around between 10 and 20 in the division right now. I mean, look, the top of the division is stacked. You got Keyshawn Davis, Tank Davis, Shakur, Loma if he's still around, Zepeda, Murataya, Abdullayev, Lamont Roach. Do they put him in there with like a Sam Noakes kind of guy? You know, a British fighter with a name, with experience? I'm not sure. I think that's what we'll see soon. I mean, Noakes is undefeated. Do they move him that fast?
That's a nice fight, B. Look, 18-0, 16 KOs now.
Right.
I don't know why we do it, but we always go, it's probably the top rank connection.
Right.
We remember Fernando Vargas being moved too quick. And
right.
you and I get nervous about that.
Right. Then you have other guys like who we mentioned last week, like Tevin Farmer, who we mentioned many times, former champion, like Berenchik. You know, we don't move them there, but then there's other British guys who are lower ranked who have a name. You know, someone like a Maxie Hughes is coming off of 2 wins. He actually
Maxie
has a
Hughes
fight.
Still at lightweight, Brendan?
Yeah.
Make that fight. He's ready.
Yeah.
It's a guy who can fight.
There's so many names in that division. You know, so many recognizable names.
I agree with you, B. A recognizable name, but not the...
Like a Giovanni Cabrera, who's a pay-to-fought.
That's great.
I mean, there's so many fucking names in that division. I just saw it as I'm perusing through John O'Carroll. You know, remember him?
Yes, he can fight. Maxie Hughes can fight. That's a really good one, B, that you called.
All right, so that's what I see next for Abdullah Mason. I think they'll they'll feed him some more opponents. And what was this one scheduled for? Was this an 8-round or 10-rounder?
I think it was a 10-rounder because I said, okay, all right, they're moving him. B, I think we have to just real quick go back and say, Rafael Espinosa, who we call the cheat code, who no one wants a part of, who's dog walking everyone. This guy went the distance with him. And Abdullah packed him up. This is deadly, B. This kid's a surgeon boxing ability. This kid is Shakur Stevenson with power.
Yeah.
Guys, you want to know what Abdullah Mason is? He's Shakur.
Unfortunately, because of that wonky feed, I didn't get to watch the full interview because it just kept cutting in and out.
Well,
but
look,
I know he touched on getting knocked down and dropped.
You know how good of a kid he is, B. He's such a sweetheart of a kid, respectful. Another guy like Tszyu that seems to have a fatherly relationship with Mark Kriegel. Said what he said. You're right. He did say that stuff. People saw me get clipped and they think that's good. I'm glad. I hope that makes people now. Okay, does that make me not look like the boogeyman because I went down? Let's do it. Let's go. He did discuss Ramadan, but he's such a polite kid. That kid has star written all over him. From being a good-looking kid, polite, articulate, doesn't drink, doesn't smoke, always in shape, isn't too small. You know, if he's starting at lightweight, he'll fill out 140, maybe 47, because he's so young. So he's not out of the realm of possibility of him being a star. I want him to do what you said. Someone like Joan O'Carroll, Maxie Hughes, you said about 2 or 3 other names. There's some of the names that we don't want him
I guess, Scott, I think bring him back relatively soon. Let's see him again on another card against one of those guys.
Are they doing a Puerto Rican Day Parade card? Top rank? With Zayas or something? Bring him back on that if they are. It's 2 months. Guys, for the record, we're moving along. There were some names that be ripped off of the higher tier that I think Abdullah Mason beats now. Right now. Yeah. I'm not saying to make it. I'm saying I believe that this is another pound for pound thing because it's not. It's mythical.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Abdullah Mason next against a top 5, top 7 guy isn't going to happen. But I believe he could beat some of them. Lindolfo Delgado, Elvis Rodriguez. We predicted this would be the fight of the weekend. It wasn't. In fact, it was pretty pedestrian. Neither guy made any adjustments, which led to the same punches being thrown and the same defensive strategy being employed. Poor corner work from both camps, in my opinion. It picked up slightly in the second half, and Elvis Rodriguez took over with that jab. He hurt Delgado with a straight left hand in the ninth. I had it 96-94 for Elvis Rodriguez. Judges had it 95-95, 96-94 twice for Lindolfo Delgado. He didn't win that fight, but I'm not going to scream.
I thought Elvis won the fight on points, but his eyes would look terrible.
Bad. He looked bad.
I think that had a lot to do with it.
Agreed. But again, I'm not screaming robbery. I had the score.
Right.
I don't believe that Delgado won that fight.
Delgado looks like he's 49.
He does. He's 307. Is he lying now? Is he secretly?
I don't know, but he looks like a science teacher, doesn't he?
Yes. We picked Lindolfo Delgado. So if you followed our picks, good for you. But we don't. Billy wrote both of us and asked us who we picked. I don't know if Billy put that bet in, but we picked Lindolfo Delgado and he won on the cards.
Richard Torres,
that segment. Richard Torres Jr. Yeah. Look, silver medalist, Torres, 12-0, 11 KOs, Guido Vianello, 2016 Olympic Italian Olympian, 13-2-1, 11 KOs, coming off that win over Makhmudov. Before we get into the fight, I just wanted to say how impressed I am by both of these men as human beings. Two humble, kind, classy guys, and God knows the sport could use more of that. The first thing that jumped out at me, in every Richard Torres fight is the energy, which I view as wasted energy, in my opinion.
Me too.
It's
wasted energy and the wide stance.
The wide stance. I believe he thinks they're feints in his view. They're feints. They're not. He views it like how Madrimov fights, and Madrimov isn't doing that. It's useful.
I could see. Imagine if you fought a guy like Lennox.
Yeah, can
you know what I mean? Big tall guy. Yeah, the
uppercut,
the fucking punching down.
Yes, punching down.
The punch he knocked Tyson out with that right hand.
Yeah,
he would just throw that on top of his head.
Yeah,
George Foreman, rest in peace, would just punch him on top of his head.
The head. Yep. He would doink him on the head like whack-a-mole. It's wasted energy. It serves no purpose. Vianello looked like shit through two.
Oh my God.
Instead of firing that right hand that you just spoke about, instead of firing that right hand when Torres rushes in, or take that half step back and ripping that uppercut, like you just said about Lennox Lewis, he just clinched. So much so that Thomas Taylor took a point in the second. I don't know what you.
That was a little premature, right?
I think it was.
Yeah. Okay.
He steadied himself in the third, created some space, started landing that right hand, which we're calling for. Really sloppy fight, tons of clinching, which just makes for bad fights. Vianello did a lot of good work in the middle rounds. Torres came back and had Vianello hurt badly in the eighth. I had it 96-93 for Kiki Torres. Judges scores 97-92, 98-91 twice for Richard Kiki Torres. Those scores
filled that ahead of time.
Yeah, they were a little wide for me, but what did you think, B?
At
a certain point, it looked like it was going to be a draw, or Guido was going to eat.
Yeah, I'm so low on both of these guys.
Yes,
that this was just
what you expected.
Okay, no, I'm going to give you like my fight watching experience where I'm hoping this fight goes faster than it is. Like this would have benefited 2-minute rounds.
Yes.
That's what I think of both. Like,
I wish it was a 6-rounder.
Well, okay, so I think I mentioned this to you off air. Everyone's like, oh, not everyone. People they really like the Torres gimmick of dressing like he's from the early 90s or
that's why
80s.
We said Irish Billy. This dude, I thought he cut his mule from this one picture, but he didn't. If you noticed.
To me, that's like me and you dressing up because he's only 25.
Yeah.
So it's very gimmicky for me.
It's like me and you wearing bell bottoms, dressing like Shaggy from
that's what we were saying.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. Whatever.
The guy, he needs a gimmick because he's gonna get fucking packed up soon. Because
I want to see him against the top 6 heavyweight, so I don't have to see him anymore.
Did you
It's really mean,
notice?
right?
Did you notice that Andy Ruiz is still in the top 10 on ESPN's top
Yeah.
10 heavyweights?
Yeah.
I think Andy Ruiz, a Big Baby Miller, I think they beat him. I, I
That's not
mean,
a bad fight.
Big
Andy
Baby
Ruiz and
Miller
no,
or
Andy
Andy
Ruiz and
Ruiz?
Richard
Andy
Torres.
Ruiz comeback fight.
Yeah, put him in there with Richard Torres.
All right. I mean, guys, they are really. B mentioned the angle of the '90s and the mustache and the mullet. Looks like Kenny Powers. They're really trying to sell you over there on him at
Right.
ESPN. Whether it's Tim, whether it's Kriegel, who usually is pretty transparent when it comes to stuff.
Yeah.
In my opinion, maybe it's not yours. I think
they all kind of
I mean, every guy does it everywhere. They have to toe a
they toe the
line. But if
company
I'm
line.
sitting there, I'm going, this guy's not beating anybody, guys. I don't know what to
No,
tell you.
I don't know either.
This guy's not beating anyone. So
And I didn't think Vianello. I said it on the show. I said he's just not good. So,
he also doesn't. You need a big set of balls to come back and win that fight. And a guy with a big pair of balls could have and would have.
yeah.
He was okay with how it went. You know,
I don't know what's next for Torres. I think more of this kind of thing. You know, just
that's going to run out. I think
insignificant fights.
Yeah, I said, don't.
Well,
mean
this
to
was for a
sound-
minor belt, right?
Was it?
Yeah, it's for some like USBA.
Look, you said about. I don't mean to sound mean. I forget. Was that about Torres or was that about someone else?
Not everybody.
I think I said this on air. I remember saying it. I think he's going to turn out to be like a butterbean kind of guy.
Yeah.
Like an attraction. Mad people were going batshit when that I didn't even know he had that many fans. They went batshit when they announced him and anything would happen.
So, oh yeah. Okay.
So
well,
there's something.
His feed, it was tough.
Yeah, I mean, I asked you before. We know it's Torres with a Z. Is he Spanish? His father works his corner and looks straight Mexican.
They're Mexican.
Yeah, he looks white. I don't know if he speaks Spanish. That would be huge.
He does.
He does. That's huge. So there should be no reason for them to move him above a Guido Vianello.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Then I don't care.
Does he fight? Does he fight a guy like that I like and you don't, like an F.A. Ajagba? Well, these guys that are like hanging around.
Well, I mean, Vianello fought Ajagba, so yeah, Torres. I mean, they're like,
that's the trajectory it looks like to me.
Yeah,
these type of guys, they're not absolute nobodies, but they're guys who can be beat, who you kind of know who they are. But they're going to find out real quick when they have to move him up because your hand is eventually forced.
Sure.
Then he gets packed up and then he goes back down and does this again. And that's my prediction for Richard Torres as a career. And Butterbean made a career out of it.
I think Butterbean has a fight soon. No bullshit.
Wow. Well, I know he went and lived with DDP to lose weight because he was like 500 pounds.
Yeah.
The wrestler guy.
Yeah, I know who DDP is.
Yeah. Saturday night, Sunday morning, Newcastle, Australia, Tim Tszyu versus Joey Spencer. Timmy Tszyu came out patient. Popping only the jab, stalking subtly.
Yeah, let's just talk about Tim Tszyu when he decides to jab. It's very effective. I think we've said it on this show before his 2 losses that he needs to jab more.
Well, and he didn't throw anything but the jab for 2 rounds. So I'm going, this B must be happy as shit now.
I was going nuts.
This guy's going jab, 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 jab. Walk forward, but cautiously. He wasn't running in like.
How much bigger did he look than Joey Spencer?
I mean, is he a
monster? He's not like a big guy.
That's what I mean. Is Joey Spencer really tiny?
I think he's like really small. Yeah.
Because look, in the third, he starts hooking off my jab, which is one of my favorite thing that Tim Tszyu does is that little short left off of the jab. Started putting the right hand behind that, letting his shit fly. Back Joey Spencer up in the 4th. His father threw in the towel.
He kicked the shit out of him.
Flurry the way he was just getting this shit.
And Spencer like saw the towel and ran out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Taking big shots. Look, why a Keith Thurman fight is next is beyond me. Who cares about Keith Thurman and what he's...
No one.
What does he do for a win? Over him even do for you?
I'd like to see him get retired, though.
I tweeted all this and I got hit with, let's say, 25% of the responses were Keith Thurman is the greatest fighter ever, better than Muhammad Ali type fans. You know, that type of fan?
Nah, I'm not going to say anything. But what did Keith Thurman ever do that got people so, like, high on him.
Well, you think the guys he beat in his prime are good. I don't even think that.
Who?
So
Danny Garcia and
Porter. Your argument was, well, 10 years ago, maybe. I never thought he was good. Diego Chavez told me what will happen if this guy fights a goon.
yeah,
And he won that fight, by the way.
yeah.
He got beaten, knocked from pillar to post by a 400-year-old Pacquiao who wasn't taking.
I was
taking
never
his-
high on Keith Thurman. Once the knockout stopped, it was just kind of like. And then I also thought he was massive, and he's not. He's 5'7".
The question to a couple people.
Why is this fight like even on the table?
So look, most people agreed with our logic and they replied to my tweet with, yeah, no idea why. I want to know the same thing. One dude who I think had an Australia flag in his bio, and I respect people that talk about a fighter that fights where they're from, said to me, look, Vin, it's a money grab and Thurman is a name. And I responded to him because he was a respectful dude.
Yeah.
I said, I'll just say his name was Joe. I said, Joe, I get where you're coming from, that it's a big fight over there, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Keith Thurman is not a name. He's not. You're about to tell me he is. He's not.
He's not a name that matters.
He got packed up by an old Pacquiao.
Yeah, no, I know.
We did the math. It was how many times in how many years since the Louis Collazo fight that he's fought?
Yeah,
like 6 times in 10 years or something. Your guys are going to tell me that's a name? The one kid kept telling me how great Thurman is, how he beat Pacquiao, how he knocks everyone out. And then I'd go, name the last time he knocked someone out. And it was like 2013. The guy was getting mad. You know, when you see them having a meltdown, like in their mom's basement.
It was Keith Thurman's burner account.
Yes. This guy was getting hot, getting tough. You're a pussy, you know what I mean? I'm like, I'll just beat you up in real life, my guy. But he was getting hot. Yo, this guy in his brain, Keith Thurman is Ray Robinson in the 40s. This guy was fucking full on.
I'm trying to think like
Keith Thurman is amazing. And this guy's puny brain.
I think of the entertaining fights Keith Thurman was in.
They're on
Palazzo.
I mean, entertaining. You got to watch that fight. You're telling people what fights they got to watch and you name it?
No, I mean, if you like stand in front of each other and punch each other in the face was the Sean Porter fight. But again,
if you say to me, when people have written in or you and I had recommendations, there's not, and I got to name.
No, it wouldn't be Keith Thurman.
I got to name 500 fights. Keith Thurman doesn't crack my top 500 fights to watch.
Me neither.
And I'm not being.
Again, though, he does have a name, though. That's the thing. He does have a name.
I don't know what that means. That's like going.
He was just popular for some reason, and I don't know why.
When did that popularity peak?
It's so weird. We said this a couple weeks ago. We're like, yo, it's like 6 years, like 3 fights.
Does the Brock Jarvis fight, him having it, packing him up, prove to you that he's still a name? I'm not being sarcastic.
A name in terms of competitive at 154 pounds, or a name in terms of a recognizable boxing entity?
Does Tszyu need that name as an entity?
No. I don't think Tszyu needed to fight this weekend.
In 2020, you didn't want him to.
What does Joey Spencer prove? Like, what did that do for him?
I don't know. Did he get touched at all, Tszyu, in your opinion?
No.
He got touched a couple times to me, which I wanted to see. I don't know that
by Joey Spencer.
I don't know. It didn't do anything.
No,
it didn't do anything. So, I mean,
did you see that? Did you watch the undercard?
No.
That was brutal.
No, I knew it was going to be brutal.
Anyway, Tszyu.
I
don't know what to say. This is what's going to happen.
It seems to be done for July.
I hope he stops him faster than he stopped Joey Spencer. That's all I'll say.
Look, if this ends with Keith Thurman's lisp getting knocked out of him.
Oh, dude. He was saying that today, that promo he cut.
Yeah. He's so, as the kids say, cringe. I just, you know how you say I just scrolled by it? It's like slang now. I legit did it. Like if you're telling me you think something's whack, you go, I scrolled past it. Like as slang. I legit saw his mug and went, I heard Tszyu.
Yeah, it's
Tszyu, and it went, He's such a cornball.
Let's
and
give the
you
people
have
what
to
they
be
want. What people
such
want this.
a cornball to like him.
Let's
It's
give the
like these
people what they
people,
want.
you know how people like they're horny for Elon Musk, and you have to be a fucking weirdo or cornball to be that?
Yeah.
Like, that's Keith Thurman to me. You're a cornball if you like Keith Thurman.
Yeah. I concur. He's bad news bears.
And whoever that offends, it offends them. He's a cornball.
Yo, you know what? If you like Keith Thurman, write into KOTB Boxing. I want bullet points of what you like about him and why you like him, and we'll hope to better understand. Also, tell me your top 5 favorite albums and where you shop for clothes.
15 years ago on the dot would be 2010.
Mhm.
Is there a bigger hype job / what the fuck did this guy ever do in the sport than Keith Thurman?
Is there a bigger one?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's a hard metric to measure, but yeah, he's up there, you know.
Meaning like achieved X while doing X, and paydays were X. The only person close, in my opinion, is Danny Garcia.
Right. And I'm trying to think. Danny's best win is what?
Lucas Matisse,
Thanks.
2011. I thought Matisse was
And-
going to dog walk him.
And Thurman's best win is Sean Porter.
Right. And Danny got
2016.
beat up by Mauricio Herrera in PR,
Right.
basically lost every round and got a gift.
Mhm.
And Thurman got beat up by a guy that's about to check pension
Right.
and knocked down by a Pacquiao who hadn't knocked anyone down or out in 6, 8, 9 years or something. So he got chinned by
Yeah,
him.
no, I don't
It
know.
was on his back
Anyway.
pockets.
That's a slaughter if it happens, I think. Unless one time turns into runtime.
I'm telling you this right now. According to us, according to those people we talk about who know less about boxing than toddlers, they're all Tim Tszyu's getting knocked out by one time. A guy who hasn't had a knockout in what, 12
right.
years?
Who
A
gives a
decade?
Yeah, I don't. This
Look,
is
guys, this
doo-doo.
weekend, a big fight in Atlantic City. At the top of that card is a unification bout. Boots Ennis versus Montes Stanionis, IBF, WBA, and Ring Magazine welterweight. That's the important one, guys.
Right.
When you're that, you're the champion. Let's start it with a kid named Tamir Smalls out of Philly. 13-0, 9 KOs. We're just watching him to be a prospect. He's got to pack up a solid guy who can fight. Omari Jones, 1-0. He just fought a few weeks ago.
Right.
I believe he's the lone Pazzi prospect that only had one fight in the history of the show. I believe.
Right. From Orlando.
Yes. He just fought a few weeks ago, and they put him right back on this. And they said they were gonna, and I didn't believe it, and they have him.
Okay.
Arturo Popoco, 15-0, 8 KOs versus Christian Cardo. Bill, B, you won't know this. The Cardos, Italian family, huge funeral home here.
Right.
If you're familiar,
that's why I put him on there.
If you're familiar with the joint I have with Beanie Siegel,
yeah,
he starts reeling off all these funeral homes in South Philly when the song starts, and he's like, "Better pay, blah blah blah," or Cardo. He like runs through where you get buried by. He says their name. He's 23-1, 16-0. He can punch. They're known a family in Philly. I've never seen Christian Cardo fight. Actually, he's got one loss. Arturo,
you never seen him on TV or at all?
Never saw him in person.
Okay.
Yeah. People are high on Arturo Popoco. He's 15-0, 8 KOs, which says to me he's not a big puncher.
Not a big puncher, but enough
to keep you off of him. I don't know how many. Oh, you put it. It's 10 rounds. I think Popoco wins a
10-round decision.
Wins a decision. Christian Cardo can fight a little bit. I think this is Popoco's got to fight a guy like this and beat him to show, like, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Ray Ford, 16-1, 8 KOs. His one loss is to Nick Ball that I thought he won. I think B thought Nick Ball edged it out. We both thought that the guy nicked it, whoever won.
Yeah.
Let's put it this way. He fought a Nick Ball in a close fight. We both agreed to that.
Facts.
So he could have that belt, easily have that belt. that Ray Ford could have the belt that Nick Ball has now. Versus Thomas, I don't know if it's Matisse or Matisse.
I think it's Thomas Matisse.
But
Yeah,
it's not
he's
spelled like
American.
Lucas and his brother. So,
No.
if he's American, it's Matisse. 22-4, 17 KOs, never been stopped. But we don't.
Was this the original opponent?
I don't think it was, because I remember being like, "That's a good fight for Ray Ford."
Yeah.
And now I think, I don't know. He's never been stopped, but hey, Ray Ford doesn't really punch hard.
No. Ray Ford's basically a hometown guy. He's from Camden.
Yes.
So this fight is packed.
Look, I have a prediction and then I have a statement. My prediction is
the return of Boardwalk Hall.
Yes. My prediction is Ray Ford UD. My statement is Ray Ford better put the beats on this guy.
Yeah. This guy's ranked like in the hundreds.
He better 10-0 him. You know, I'm not.
Where's Matisse from? Is he?
I don't know.
Did they give a local guy? Let me look him up.
I looked him up. I did look him up to see if I remembered him, and I did remember him from his losses. Because I always, if I can't remember a guy, the easiest way for me to remember is his losses, not his wins. Because I go, can this guy be top opposition, or is he one of those guys that when he fights real good guys, he loses, but he's tough?
Right.
I believe that's what it is here.
Not a local guy.
Right. But Ohio travels.
They do.
Like, there's mad Ohio people at any fight. Kelly Pavlik used to sell that joint out.
Yeah, I mean that was like his
fight
hometown.
in New York, you know, and people would come out Youngstown. Yes. It's not that far, guys. Probably 5 hours or something, that drive. I think my opinion as a Ray Ford fan is he's got to beat him up. And that would mean if I had my druthers, Ray's not a one punch guy.
Yeah.
He just busts him up and in the 8th, someone waves it off. You know,
I mean, he can turn it on. He's got a motor on him, Ford.
He does. We got to call Billy Betts in to see if
he's been going back and forth with Tank Ray Ford. I'd like to see that.
Me too. Billy Betts, Raymond Ford, Thomas Matisse. You saw Ray Ford in person, I believe, Billy. Wasn't he on one of the Philly cards, B?
Yeah.
So Billy's going to be seeing Ray Ford for like the 3rd time.
Yeah, Ray Ford. He's like my guy.
He is.
Minus 1,200.
And when is there an over under?
8.5.
I like the under.
I want you to be right. So I think he busts him up and stops.
Actually, I take it back. Matisse has never been stopped.
I said that.
You did say that.
I said that. I think if he does what I want him to do and he stops him, it's in the 8th or 9th. So they have it right where I would. Gun to my head, I go with the over. Gun to my head. But that's if you're hotsy-totsy to bet, Bill. If you're just like, no, I'm not hotsy-totsy to bet.
I'm going to be super hotsy-totsy because I'm going to be there.
Jerron,
yeah, so this will be the 2nd time you've seen him.
And the 3rd time you've seen Boots. Jerron Boots Ennis, the Philly boy, Philly's favorite son right now.
Yep.
Versus Montes Stanionis. The 2 best welters right now.
Yeah. This is the best fight to be made.
This is the best fight to be made. We've been calling for it. It's happening. They're both in their prime. We were heavy on Stanionis for a minute, and we backed off of that. After
injuries, bad luck,
weird performance in Minnesota, I think it was. In that outdoor place we like.
He gets hit too much, but so does Boots.
I think this is the performance that we've been waiting for Boots Ennis. And I think it happens because of the level of competition.
Yeah.
I think Boots Ennis lays hands on Stanionis and stops him late. Stops him in the 10th round.
I don't think it's going to be that close. Stanionis is not a guy who is going to give you the problems that Chukadzian gives you, right? He's going to stand in front of you and fight, and that's what Boots needs. Chukadzian was moving and giving Boots problems and kind of darting in and out and giving. But I mean, let's be honest. Giving Boots problems, Boots won the fight 10-2.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? We're saying like giving Boots problems. It's the bar is so high.
Exactly.
For Boots Ennis.
Over and over, every show with us. Boots Ennis, Steph Fulton.
Right.
Boots Ennis, Steph Fulton. It's you can't praise a guy like
if he doesn't destroy the fucking guy, we kind of were like, happened. Maybe he fell off.
Yeah.
I think it was more an indictment of his corner against Chukadzian,
Yes,
where
we both
he's getting
critique.
screamed at to get the guy out of there, and Chukadzian doesn't get out of there.
No, it's
So
not the
instead-
guy you do that with.
No, box the guy's ears off, and then
and
just
if it comes, it comes.
right, take the decision. So Boots is risking stuff the entire fight and getting countered and hit, and we're saying we're not saying, but people are like, oh, he sucks, he's overrated because he doesn't mow everybody down in 22 seconds. All right, Stanionis, different style fighter. He's going to be in front of Boots. He's going to take the fight to Boots. I think Boots' counterpunching skills will be the difference maker here.
He can fight off that back foot and sting you off the back foot.
I think that's what we'll see. We'll see him countering early, and then once he establishes the dominance in the fight, he's going to push the pedal and listen to his father and get this guy out of there. Bill, what's the over-under?
10.5.
10.5.
And what are the odds?
Drawn is minus 575.
Wow, he's close to a 6-1.
So
That's no respect.
No, I'm going to say Boots gets him out of there. Stanios doesn't answer the bell to begin the 8th round. The corner stoppage between 7 and 8.
I think his corner stops it during a flurry in the 10th. He's getting hurt. He's against the ropes. He's not going down, but he's a mess.
Is that halfway through the 10th? Or
the over, Billy, the over.
Wow.
Second half of the 10th.
Late 10th. That's
And I'm saying under.
Right. I want to remind Brendan of something he said in this episode when I spoke about Janibek and how he looked. And I heaped praise and said, I'm on the bandwagon. And B stopped me in my tracks and said, Vin, this sport is based on who you're fighting.
Yeah.
We really like Stanionis. Then you go back and you go, well, I mean, it started Justin DeLoach, Jana Gonzalez. First name I remember was Tomas Delorme. And you go, he's been packed up. He's a bit chinny. He didn't even stop him. And then you go, all right, a 2021 Luis Collazo was what, 10 years past his prime?
41. He's the same age as me, yeah.
Right now he is? So he was like 30.
No. He was the same age. He's like the same age as me. He was 41 in that fight.
He's 41 in that fight. Yeah. So, okay. Ratza Butayev, a tough guy, and he nicked that out. And then Gabriel Maestre is the fight that B and I went, I don't know. I keep talking about a performance in that place in Minnesota, B. This Maestre fight was at T-Mobile. So something in my head, me and you.
Are you thinking of a different fighter?
I don't know.
No, the Collazo fight was at the Armory in Minneapolis.
Okay. And that ended weird, didn't it? Wasn't it?
Yes,
was there a
headbutt
cut or something. Yeah. And okay. So, guys, there's no murderer's row there, and not that there is with Boots, but there was a run, and if you guys listen, you heard us. There was a run where Boots was doing things to people that it wasn't done before. It's not who, it's how.
How, right. So Stanionis is more of that too. It's the eye test. He looked great. And then, of course, he's had these like career derailments due to various reasons. Again,
the Lipnets, the Boots fight was like, just people don't do that to Sergey Lipnets.
No, and it sounded like you took the heavy bag off the chains and had a strongman hit Lipnets in the face with it.
Yes, it comes off of that, and Stanionis goes the distance with Delorme, and Boots annihilates him in one. It's just so.
I'm telling you, I think it's gonna take the. I'm saying take the under. They're gonna stop it before the 8th.
I think it's a star-making performance. I think it's one-sided, but he's hanging around. But it's one-sided. He's getting beat up, but it's one-sided, not enough. And then in the 10th, he lets his shit fly. But I think it's going to be. That type of maestro-esque performance that we've been calling for, B. Not because, Chikadzian just, it's tough to fight.
Right.
Like, I think it's going to be like,
and Avanesian, he got out of there, but he was getting hit a lot in that fight. And
backed him up. I think it's going to be an oh shit Lipinets type of, because remember when he did the Lipinets? I think that was in the bubble,
Yeah.
wasn't it? You go, oh shit, and we go, told you so.
That's what I'm saying. It sounded like
Tomorrow.
someone hit him with a heavy bag.
It did a bat against a heavy bag.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the over. B likes the under. The Ray Ford, we disagree there. We both think he wins. I like the over. I think B likes the under. The
No.
Popolka,
I think it's going to be. I agree with you. I changed my pick for Ray
yeah.
Ford. I think that's going to be going to go the distance. I don't think he's going to knock him out.
Yeah, I wonder if Popolka Cardo can turn into some sort of a brawl. It might.
Cardo's fighting in front of his hometown, so
Yeah,
it might be.
yeah,
And keep an eye on Tamir Smalls shouting him out and
yeah,
Omari Jones. Omari Jones is a 5'11" welterweight from Orlando. So
yeah. I never named a Pazzi prospect on 0 fights before him. And Tamir Smalls has just got to get in there with a guy that we feel, handles himself. All right, this
Yep.
guy can fight a little bit, and then he packs him up. You go, all right, he's ready. He's ready. He's going about to make that. Do we have? So Billy Betts has the info. Do we have any mail?
we got mail.
Mm-hmm.
All right. First one is from Darren Shabbat. He says, "What
What up,
up,
Darren?
guys? Really looking forward to this Saturday's Boot Stanios fight. I will be in the building." All right, Darren.
I keep dipping to the side to wipe my nose, and
Yeah.
I realize what it probably looks like I'm doing drugs.
Yeah, this guy's a fucking got to stay up.
Crystal meth.
Darren, I'll be there. Come say hello. He'll be in the building. Let me see. I've been made aware that the last time there was a big fight in the big room at Boardwalk Hall was Hopkins Kovalev in 2014, which I
there.
also happened to be at.
Me too.
Kind of crazy it's been so long. I hope AC becomes more of a fight town again. But as far as the fight, assuming Boots wins, do you think he should stay at 47, try to get the other 2 belts, or move up to 54? He seems big for 47, but it also seems to be the easier path to become undisputed. 154 is a tough division, but could also catapult his star power if successful. Let me know what you think, and hope to see you guys out there. And by the way, ever since you said Richard Torres looked like Baba Booey, I can't unsee it. Looking forward to the new album, Vinny. Peace. And
Thank you, brother.
Darren, aka DJ Absurd. So listen, I think he should stay at 47 and unify. 47 is going to get hot in like a year.
Yep.
So
12 to 18 months, there's going to be 5, 6, 7 guys there that are.
It's going to get hot. If he can make the weight and beat up on those guys, it's real nice. Going to 54, he's going to. I'll say it now. Boots will take a loss at 54.
Yes.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Chase greatness. I'm just saying that division's so good. All those guys up at that weight, I think, if they stay that weight, stay the course there, will take losses.
And all fight each other and all take losses in the process. I will be disappointed in Boots because is he my favorite active fighter? Who did I say was my favorite active fighter last week? Oscar Collazo.
Collazo, yeah.
To watch. Boots is probably right there. We've been heaping praise since the show started, and he was a prospect.
Since the show started, right.
I will be disappointed if he doesn't stay there. Something I don't like is they did something that I really don't like, and I think I just don't like it. They threw out the 154 thing a year, 18 months ago. So if they have to make that decision, it looks like it was planned. No, don't do that. He can make fucking weight. He's still a kid. He's 27. There are not stories out of these camps that he's killing himself. He is not gaunt and fainting at. Stop the madness to create. I hate the word. I hate using words like, what's the thing that they say? He's downloading the information. I also hate the word narrative, but it's what they're doing.
Yeah.
There's a narrative in pouring out the 54 thing so that if things don't go the way I want, I could just hop out of there and say, well, I told you guys I was going up. I couldn't make the weight. I don't believe it. I have no reason not to believe it. I know people that work with Boots, with him. I know people in his crew, his camp, and I know people that are his friends. He's not dying to make weight. He's not at the scales. He's not passing out and rushing to get the meal and the drink afterwards. It's just not. It's a story they'd like you to believe.
Right.
I don't mean Boots. Boots isn't saying it.
The media.
The media, as Ali G says. Get those other 2 belts. I know that Mario Barrios has one, and I forget who has the other one. Oh, it's Stanionis, right? So that would be the
Stanionis,
only
yeah.
one. So fight Mario Barrios next. This is
Right.
IBF and WBA. No, so there's got to be WBO and WBC. Barrios has WBC. So who has the WBA? I mean,
Stand by.
who has
Keep talking.
WBO? Damn, I
I
thought I
got
remembered.
I just want to shout out. I got my Ring magazine here.
Big shout out Dougie Fisher and Ring
Big shout out,
Magazine.
Doug. This is look, guys. I keep it right here next to us, so we
Yeah.
can look stuff up.
Mine's in arm's length too. A dope poster came with it, guys. That's like a comic book poster.
Yep.
Get it and frame it.
Norman,
Print
Brian
out
Norman
the
Jr.
ring
Why
that-
do we always forget him?
yes.
And that
He
was fight was
just
supposed
fought.
he just fought.
He
That fight
just
was
fought.
supposed to happen.
This guy
and,
keeps pricing himself out, guys. There has to become a point where one of the
Yeah, I mean, look, we just rattled off some names. That's a good fight. So
Brian
make that fight
Norman talks heavy.
heavy.
I'll beat all these guys up. I'll knock them. All right, then fight him. So you should be Mr. Norman. You should be here. Saturday.
Just for the sake of discussion, right?
Yeah.
There's a chance to make our point. Gary Antoine Russell is a belt holder at junior welterweight. He's a big guy.
Mm-hmm. He's moving up.
Matias is, from what I heard, is having trouble making weight. Might move up.
I didn't hear that. So that's another guy. And he can punch.
Richardson Hitchens will likely move up.
Oh, absolutely.
Devin Haney and Teofimo Lopez.
It's already done.
Will likely move up.
Ryan. If you're just talking names, I mean, you know, Ryan is a big kid. And
right.
young.
And all those guys are fighting at welterweight on May 2nd.
Yes.
Yeah.
In New York.
Right? Aren't they fighting
yes. And their opponents, guys, are all fighting.
Right.
Who, if they pull it off, you know.
Right. So, yeah, Ryan and Rolly are fighting at welterweight. Excuse me. I think Teofimo and Devin are fighting at 40, but with the intention of eventually moving up.
All of their intentions is 47. Yeah. They've all said it. And not just to say it. They've all said, my body / my career / all of this is going, we're all going to 47. It's going to take 6, 12, 18 months within there. It's going to get hot all of a sudden. And then that'll be barren. And then that it's just the way it works.
All right. So listen, we got another one. Robert Villanueva writes, he says, hello to the crew. Hope everything is good. Concerning the fight, this is Torres Vianello. Concerning the fight, it was obviously a sloppy fight with way too much clinching and holding. Understandable to a certain degree due to the height difference and southpaw versus orthodox styles. I like Thomas Taylor's work as a ref. I wish more refs would penalize excessive holding, but at some point, you got to let them work it out on their own. I miss the style of Joe Cortez where you say, your hands are free, punch and get out. Yeah.
Some guys won't.
I know. Anyways, just my 2 cents. Looking forward to the next episode. As always, peace, UNO. All right. Thomas Taylor, we gave him the Referee of the Year award on the annual Knockies.
We did.
He's having the sophomore jinx.
He is.
I don't think he's been great. I think he likes the lights, so he's involving himself a lot more. Have you noticed that, Vin?
Yeah, I think that he's too much under the tanning bed, and it's frying his brain now. After he won a Knocky.
By the way, he also looks like he's got a tooth on.
Look, he's got he might have a lid. He's under that tanning bed. The glue from the lid is seeping into his
brains.
And the tanning bed.
Turning your brains into mush.
And the tanning bed thing is frying his brain. It's because he won a Knocky. Look, let's just be frank.
It goes right to your head more ways than one.
Right to your fucking head. He's walking around like his shit don't stink and he's making bad calls.
Facts.
Let's go, Thomas.
Comes
back.
All right. The last one is from Mackenzie Garrison. It says, what up, guys? First time emailer, long time listener. I absolutely love the podcast and can't wait for first thing Wednesday to put it on. Your guys' analysis is the best out there, and I'm always trying to put you on to as many people as I can. Thanks.
We appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate it. Call you Big Mac. Mackenzie. He says, my comment and question are regarding Richard Torres. Yes, he's kind of a cheeseball, but a really likable one. He seems like a good kid with good character, so that makes me a fan regardless of his boxing skills. Sorry, I can't help it. About those skills, or lack thereof. Do you think it's too late for the kid? Yes. Do you think there's things he could do or adjustments he could make that might change his path moving forward? No. Because I think he's going to get KO'd, probably the best step up he takes. Kind of surprising that Guido didn't do it. I mean, you kind of predicted our show this week.
You did.
He says, anyways, love what you do. And oh yeah, hi Billy.
Well done.
Well done.
He's getting packed up by someone good. I mean,
Yeah.
top 10 guy.
I think he loses to top 10 guy. Anyway, that does it for this episode. Billy and I will be down in Atlantic City Saturday. Come say hello if you see us. You can find me at I_know_that_kid on IG, at the Killer B24 on Twitter. Find us at KOTB Podcast on IG and KOTB Boxing. KOTB Boxing on IG, KOTB Podcast on YouTube. Write us at KOTBBoxing, gmail.com. Vinny.
Hello, my name is Vinny. Head of David is out now. Go to YouTube, run that up. It'll be dropping on all streaming platforms eventually. The record drops on April 25th. God Send Vengeance. At Box Cutter Pazzi on IG. We are at KEOTB Boxing on IG. On Twitter, where really dumb people get fresh regarding boxing. At Vinny_Paz. Anything related to merch, music, vinyl, tapes, cassette, CDs, jackets, stuff like that. Knock them out the box tees. Go to jmtstore.com. That's it for this week. Let's get a unified welterweight champion, guys.
If Brendan keeps sharing his shit on my Facebook page, I might have to make a Billy Bindlesticks Instagram. So.
I think there should be one regardless, but that's just my opinion. Thank you. Say goodnight, Billy.
Good night, Billy.
Knock 'em out the box.